Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of Deliver Us Mars, the game that is definitely being played by a professional streamer. There we go. That sound was me plugging in my controller, which apparently I had forgotten to do, or actually getting the wireless up and running. There we go. Usually, like to take care of that before hitting go live, but today I decided to do it a different way. The other thing that we're going to do a different way is... I want to have this, but don't be surprised if this comes up a little bit later as more people come in. This is going to be very quick. Usually we want to get into the game, but there's been something that has been kind of confusing me since we started playing. And so what I did is I went back and I watched sections of our original playthrough of Deliver Us the Moon, and then I rewatched episode 1 of Deliver Us Mars, and now I think I understand what the timeline of events are, which was, again, kind of confusing me. So, very, very quickly, Deliver Us the Moon tells the story starting around 2054, which is when the big blackout happened. 2054 is when the moon stopped transmitting power through the MPT back to Earth, and there was a global blackout. And then it wasn't until 2059, 5 years later, that the events of the actual game take place. That's when Rolf takes the space shuttle up, goes to the moon, and finds out what had happened 5 years ago. And 5 years ago, in 2054, that was when Isaac had Kathy in cryogenic suspension. He was trying to get the helium-3 to fuel up the third arc and then get aboard it and then join everybody else on Outward. He and Sarah had a fight. It really isn't a fight. I mean, he sucker stabbed her, like, just in the middle of, like, some raised words, stabbed her in the gut. She was able to send off the tram and then take that time to get the helium-3 that Isaac was trying to steal locked away, and then she smashed the panel so that he couldn't take it. Now, I believe it was after that, and I didn't go to see this part, but I believe it's then Sarah or the two of them that go and stabilize the the fusion reactor so that it doesn't blow up. And hello to both Grumpy and Guys of Invictus. I hope that you're both having a great Sunday so far. Oh, Moo snickered at my pro streamer comment, or sneered, perhaps. Either way, I hope that you and Moo are both having a great day. Yeah, so they used that last bit of helium-3 to stabilize the reactor so that it wouldn't explode. At least that's my memory. I didn't look at that part. And Sarah gets put into the cryogenic suspension. That was all 2054. Then in 2059, Rolf shows up and finds that Sarah is still alive in the cryogenic suspension. And my memory, and again, I didn't watch every minute of Deliver Us the Moon, but like Isaac's whereabouts were unaccounted for that I remember, but now we know that in 2060, which is when this game starts, the earliest prologue scenes that we see are the year 2060, so that's give or take the next year. It's the next year after. It's 1 year after Rolf went up and got Sarah Baker. That was when Isaac was shown stealing another shipment of helium-3, thawing out Kathy, trying to get Kathy onto the Ark, and then taking off by himself to go join everybody else on Mars. And then most of what we've been playing now has been 8 years after that, which is 2068. That's a lot of dates, so just in sum, what it means is that after the events of Deliver Us the Moon, Isaac was still operating on the moon 1 year later, and then he seized an opportunity to grab the third remaining Ark, tried to get his daughter on board, failed at that part, and then took off, and then nobody knew exactly where he had gone until now, which is 8 years later, and that brings us up to speed. I have a lot of thoughts about the way that this man treats the rest of humanity and his family, but I'm also willing to say, let's wait to see if this could possibly somehow all be part of some larger plan that he has to bring the Arks back. That seems extremely unlikely. I don't know why he would possibly think that trying to do that himself would work out, but Isaac is a brilliant scientist and a big idiot in a lot of other ways, so who knows? But at the moment, the idea that he sort of bided his time until he had a second chance to steal the Ark, and then just sort of like shruggingly failed to get his daughter onto the Ark in time. I have the lowest opinion of Isaac Johansson that I've ever had. It's really difficult for me to give that guy any sort of a benefit of the doubt. And that brings us up to speed. So hello to, again, Grumpy, Guys Invictus, Moo, and Maxine. And Moo is clarifying that it was in fact a smile at my dry sarcasm and not a sneer. I will take almost any form of engagement. Moo, I'm the Neil Breen of, if people are having any sort of reaction, hey, at least they are watching and hopefully having a good time. And with that recap, because that really has been like dominant in the conversation, like what exactly is all going on, and now we've got it. I would say that I would have liked it if maybe the game itself was a little bit clearer in that sequence of events, but the information is all there. And yeah, this game absolutely assumes that you have played the previous game and recently and sort of remember what dates certain things occurred. And with that, let's go ahead and hit continue. Guys Invictus may play some Stellaris while listening. Guys Invictus, I am extremely excited for the next Stellaris patch.
I've made it back inside. Where do you want me to go?
We cleared the blockade for the elevator, so just take that up when you're ready.
Copy that.
Now, I will note that the volume settings from last episode... Oh, boy. I gotta say this. Ray tracing really struggles with certain types of hair technology, because right now, as far as I can tell, it is lighting her hair as though she was standing outside, and I am rarely this redheaded. And yet, as you move closer to the window, it looks like it's lit a bit more sensibly. So, yeah, it's interesting some of the ways that the global illumination, the ray tracing, just kind of can't figure out some of the NVIDIA hair tech. For no particular reason, I did want to just search this area before we go upstairs. Now I'm going to be very self-conscious if we actually find something, because it's going to be like, oh, Angel looks things up. No, it's just that at the end of the last episode, we were a bit out of time, and I didn't get a chance to do the sort of, like, look around that I would normally do. And I wanted to do this before we stepped upstairs. Okay. Yeah, I have thoughts with a capital T about Isaac Johansson, and it's like even if this turns out to not be... Okay, that's a super cool detail. Hold on. Can we just look at our friend, Ayla? That is Ayla, yes? When we got on board this together, I was actually thinking to myself, okay, wouldn't Ayla, like, Ayla's floating. She's not like a physical object attached to the elevator, so wouldn't the elevator rise underneath her and she'd have to like power herself to go up? And then that's exactly what happened. I mean, I guess she's technically just hovering slightly off the surface. Also, it seems like Kathy's hair is having a little bit of difficulty. Okay, we're certainly going to get dialogue. And hello to Dougler, who's asking if I have thoughts THOTS. I have fewer of those, I must say. Really, just the one. This game already reminds me of like Subnautica somehow. The tech has a similar vibe with especially like the little drones that go around, but the actual gameplay is very far removed. This is much more of a like...
What the hell happened here?
Maybe we arrived too late.
Maybe we didn't. We have no idea what's behind this door.
No. One way to find out.
Is everything all right, Sarah?
I don't know.
Awesome. That clear she just walks directly over this person. And hello to Hickey.
More bodies.
Security drones. Hate these things.
You okay?
Yeah. It's been years, I'm fine.
Should write this down for later.
But we should turn back. It's clearly not safe.
We need to find out what happened, Imzadi.
But we're easy targets now without...
Let's look around and see what we can find. Be careful, everyone.
Okay, let's take a look around the area. So these are the first other people that we found here on Mars.
Anything you can... Sorry, I didn't mean to. Anything useful on there?
Its protocols are all messed up. Seems a kill switch turned it off, and likely the others too. But there's more code here. Something was altered before the kill switch was thrown. Hard to tell without doing a deep dive on the diagnostics.
The other thing that sort of stands out is going back and watching the footage from Deliver Us the Moon. It feels a lot, and I didn't double check, but I think that they have different voice actors in this game for Sarah Baker in particular. She sounds a lot different to me, but I would have to look. Sometimes there's just they're doing something a little bit different.
Look at this. Outward by the door, probably guarding the bridge. The security ASCs, MacArthur's own ASCs, are facing them, not homeward. So...
They were attacking outward instead of homeward. What's Sarah's deal with security ASCs?
one attacked her on the moon. It's the reason she got stuck there. During the blackout, she went to investigate the cause, and one knocked her out. That all led up to what happened with your dad, and you know the rest.
Right. You see what some of them are holding, Ayla? These people barricade the entrance. Why would they block their own escape? Unless they weren't trying to escape. Did that door just open by itself?
Seems like something you might want to mention to the others, Kathy.
What was that? I know that sound. Came from over there.
Okay, we can't go over there. Oh, yes we can. We just have to go a different path. And yet there's nothing back here. I feel like we only have a lot of strong implications about what the people might have been fighting about. A desire for some of them to go back to Earth, you know, the horrible working conditions, the force feeding of antidepressants, terrible food. And there were a lot of reasons for these people to have decided that leaving all of their friends and family back on Earth to slowly suffocate and die wasn't maybe their finest hour. I hear like a beeping, and I don't think it's Ayla. I think it's something else, and usually that means that there's something to scan, but I'll be darned if I can see it. Okay. Oh, there is something over here. So this is between Dom and Raynor. I think it's Dom says, "Oi, bruv, that coffee went right through me. I'm taking care of business right now. Boom." It's never inappropriate to give your friends status updates on your latest bowel movements, for sure. Raynor says, "Sweet, thanks for the play-by-play." Dom says, "You know what they do to our waste?" Raynor says, "You want to have this conversation right now, like while you're on the toilet?" Dom does. Oh, gosh darn it, what the hell? So this says that I'm fine. I'm back. Okay. Sorry. Maxine, guys, Invictus, does everything seem to be okay? I will say that we had a big storm. Hold on, let me mute. We had a big storm last night. It died for like 5 seconds, which is hopefully not enough. Yeah, the streaming software says everything is perfectly fine. It didn't even register that there was a disconnect. Yeah, it seems like we're okay. So, depending on exactly where it cut out, all we did there was read the back and forth between, what were the names? Hold on, I'm not going to read it again, but now I'm trying to remember who we just heard from. Raynor Nadam. Yeah, this is the one that we just read. And really it was just about the fact that the colonists... Uh-oh, hold on.
How does it come to this?
Petechial hemorrhages. Cyanosis. They suffocated.
Everyone?
Yeah. Both homeward and outward.
We have to leave. It's too dangerous.
Too dangerous? Sarah, there's no one left.
We don't know that. I mean, look what they did to each other.
Sarah, please calm down.
No. I mean, if there are any survivors, we have nothing to defend ourselves. We have to go back. Ayla detects holograms?
Yeah? Doesn't Alex do that too?
No. And I've been trying to break the Lunar Council encryption key for years. How many of these have you found?
Only a couple.
Play it.
What?
Play it.
Wait. We're going to play it, but I just want to note, Kathy's lying here. Kathy knows that it's rare that her ASE can decrypt those, because if you remember, the first one that she found, she said to Ayla, hey, delete that from your logs and I'll just hold on to it. And I remember commenting, that seems like a super bad idea to be hiding that information from the people that she came with. So I just want to note for the record, that whole like, oh, yours can't. I mean, it wasn't the most convincing delivery of the lie either, but I just wanted to make sure everybody's on board. Yeah, she's straight up lying to Sarah. And I know that we know more, or we know a different side of Sarah. We know more about Sarah than Kathy might. To her, it might be very abstract. But of all the people that you would be dishonest with, I really don't think it would be her. And it's not because she's threatening, which, I mean, frankly, she deserves to be. It's because she's a fundamentally good person who made the right call when very, very few other people were capable of doing that. We will do this right now. Hold on, we're trying to get into position. And hello to Jab. Oh, 3 seconds before I do this, the rest of the conversation that apparently cut off was literally just about how their poop is being used as fertilizer to grow the next generation of food for them. That was the whole thing, which I have to note is an interesting place to put the poop conversation right before the mass grave situation. Okay. And then this is going to be our up and down. Come on. There we go.
You are all delusional if you think Mars will ever be safe for us.
You destroyed Odin. It's unsafe here because of you.
We need to go home to Earth. We can't stay here.
Earth is a lost cause. Why don't you see that?
I will not die without seeing my family again!
People, please! Enough! Fighting like cornered animals. We're all better than that. Things here haven't been easy, but it's hardship we have to endure to make outward work. It's hardship we had foreseen. Those of you who wish to return with the Arks, what do you think Earth will do with them? Who's at the front of the queue to be helped? You? Each and every one of you would be put on trial the moment your feet touch the ground. And what of the nations that don't get a say? That don't get control? What do you think they will do? They will fight, they will kill, and they will destroy. Like mindless, irrational beasts, they will destroy the Arks and each other. For over 30 years, we've known that Earth has passed the point of no return. In 30 more years, its surface will be near and distinct from that of Mars. Pushing the frontier of humanity always comes with a cost. But it's a price we have to pay for a better tomorrow. We can still move forward in unison and make this work. If only we...
Enough, William! We are done with your speeches. We are done being ignored. Your lofty talk of unity spits in the face of all those you've got locked up in medical. Desperate people who resorted to desperate measures. Your inaction and ignorance forced their hands. We miss our families and friends back on Earth. If our tech and our minds can help save it, we have to try. You forced us to board the Arks. You forced us to live and work in this nightmare. And now, you're forcing our hand. We will be heard, William. You will listen to us. Now, Julia.
How... Rosa, what have you done?
After him! Rosa for all Homewardians! Grab MacArthur and get to the bridge!
My god.
It was Homeward. They used the ASCs to fight their way to the bridge.
I can't believe MacArthur pushed this to an all-out civil war.
MacArthur?
Yes, MacArthur.
The ASCs, the attack on Odom? Rosa is just as culpable, don't you think?
Rosa? You must be joking. These people have no choice. They didn't choose to be violent. MacArthur forced their hand.
That doesn't mean the ends justify the means. Rosa is just as guilty of this escalating as he is. Without her, none of this would have happened.
Using the oppressor's weapons against them is completely justified.
Doesn't that make her as much of a dictator as he was? She's imposing her will, just like MacArthur did. We saw the hollow. Everyone wanted to leave.
This isn't some hypothetical moral dilemma from one of your dad's college lectures. This is clear cut.
Right, sure, but how about... Take it easy. Don't need one more soul running through you right now. Don't have much left. So only take one for now.
Sorry, she sounds like she's in distress.
Just wait here.
Okay. I
We
think
should
that
go
her...
now, while we still can.
Super quick. No. 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 The idea that Rosa, who wants to take the technology back to save billions of lives on Earth, does not make her exactly the same as MacArthur, who wants to leave all of them to die so that he can go off and be in charge. He can be king of his own little fiefdom. And I understand that Ryan doesn't have all of the information that we have, either probably from the moon or that we've picked up here on Mars, but the idea that that's his immediate takeaway, wow, both sides do it, does not reflect well on him. Ryan's a likable guy, at least on this topic. He's not I don't agree with him at all. Okay, well, that's as high as we go.
Was that Ace. Oh my god, it's Ace! He made it here with Dad. He's leading us somewhere. Who
Wait.
could it be?
Is Ace in the ducts? What are we talking about here? I hear it, but... Oh, okay. I wasn't looking far enough ahead. Book exchange. Oh, what do we have? A second life among the stars, a walk through fire among stars, and then they came from a far, far away, which we have seen elsewhere. I guess my my response to somebody like Ryan is context matters. And if he's incapable of understanding that, then dude needs to log off of Twitter. So I'm guessing we don't want to break that green ray that's over there. But let's take a look around. I always like to take stock of the situation. Oh, maybe we do. Oh, it's just one of those. I thought it was going to be like the detection of like some sort of defense turret or defensive ASE. The reason... Oh, hey, look at that. They have a copy of Deliver Us the Moon, along with Horinth and the Ocean, which I'm suddenly suspecting might be other video games. Oh my god, look, they were actually playing Deliver Us the Moon. You can see a little ASE guy there. Oh, what a weird place to put in their self-referential Easter egg, just after the mass grave. Okay, and this is, at the moment, as far as we can go. Let's just see if Ayla can interact with this. It's red, so... Oh, that actually did work. See, that's why you always try things that you don't think are going to be fruitful, because then you save yourself a lot of time. Alright, and this is down. Up.
Well, then make him authorize it.
Rosa, please stop this. This has all gone too far.
This is just the beginning.
Hacking the ASCs, storming medical to release the prisoners. You're not hearing the madness of it all.
MacArthur cut us off from Ark Labos, not me, Isaac. Why are you even here? To parlay on behalf of our glorious leader?
I came as a friend, please. Please listen to reason.
I'm done listening, and I'm done talking.
What about people who support Outward and want to thrive? The people you have security ASCs pointing their weapons at right now.
We are leaving today, and we're taking the Arks with us. If you want to help, go to the Panopticon and tell MacArthur to turn Labos back on. Otherwise, stay out of it.
Why are they acting like this? They've been through so much together. How is this happening?
Well,
They're okay.
They've been suffering on Mars for years and years and years. That's why. Jab is asking how long ago were those people killed? So Jab, to start off the episode, Oh, that's like a lock. Okay, I wasn't sure what that was, but I guess it's holding that that table up, which is a nice touch. So we figured out a lot of the timeline. That the original Blackout was in 2054, and then the events of Deliver Us the Moon was in 2059, and then the scene that started off this game, the prologue between Kathy and her father, was... Sorry, do I want to do that? I'm not sure. We didn't really look that well over there. the scene that started this game off was 2060. So now we know a lot more about that. In terms of like when these people died, that's hard to know because I don't think that we have that information right now. The best that we can say is sometime.
Ace, wait!
How'd he get in there? Damn. Let's find a way in.
They would have been killed sometime between 2059 and this year, which is 2068. But I would think very recently. The waiting list for housing was insane. People were years away from having their own space. Did they all sleep shoulder to shoulder here in the meantime? Yes, they did. Like, this whole thing of like, oh my goodness, how could things have come to this? As far as I can tell, they weren't here on Mars for like 6 weeks. They were here on Mars for 5 years. Hold on. No, 6 years before the events that brought Isaac here. So that was 6 years before the events of this game started. And when Isaac arrived, things like the mine and stuff were still operational. So there was a downfall from things from there. And however rapid it wasn't... Oh boy, this is a complicated puzzle area. Hold on a second, because now we've got this happening. Okay. So that gets us in here. How do we feel about being in here? We can move this a little bit. Hold on a second. I'll also say, like, who was it? Was it Ryan or Kathy who was, like, expressing doubt about, like, there's nobody left? Who turned the oxygen back on? Guys, like, if all of those people suffocated, which is what somebody, Sarah or somebody, said had happened to them, why is there air in there now? Somebody turned that back on. They didn't blow out a window and then everybody died like Arnold Schwarzenegger. They, like... some bad stuff went down, and then the bad stuff was undone. So let me aim at this for a second. Yeah, so that's too much power to this. And we've also got some ladders and stuff that we can go upstairs, so I do want to check that out. Now, we can send Ayla in there to make some adjustments, but... that's not getting enough power. Yeah, so we want to change this. Let me go upstairs really quick. Well, let me go in here. So we can see that because of the resistor, that one's not getting enough electricity. But I can't get in there to interact with it right now. So I think one of our jobs is, I'm willing to bet that if we can bounce that resistor out of the way, then we can power up the door and go in. But if you can't power up the door, how would you get in there at all? Like, this is glass, right? We can't, like, slide in here. No. Yeah. And then that is back there. Okay. All right, I'll tell you what. Let's go upstairs before we make any other big changes. They built one hell of a lot of infrastructure. Yeah, I think, Jab, a lot of this... So what we know about this is that a lot of resources were taken from the moon. Like, there were some things that they were supposed to be building for, like, the space station and the MPT infrastructure that were repurposed by MacArthur to do things like build the arcs and get infrastructure ready for their whole Outward project. So I think that a lot of the structures and stuff that were brought along... Okay. Oh, and this does open up here, I guess. So I think we probably want to move this. Let's move it out of the way. Let me just put it, like, over here in the corner, maybe. All right, I think we can get in there now when we redirect the beam. All right, let me go back downstairs. We're gonna go reposition that stream. Not that way. Wow, I'm going the wrong way. Wait, am I? No, I'm not. Sorry, this was the right way. Yeah, we want to aim this. Oh, that is too much power. Well, wait a second. Then how would I ever get... How would I ever get that resistor out of there? You do it with a splitter, I guess. Because a splitter also cuts the amount of power by, I think, 1 point. Yeah, so this door does not open. Oh, hold on, I didn't put it all the way over. Okay, so now the door opens. But if I move the resistor, then the door stops being open. There's nothing else in here that Kathy gets to do with her hands. So I do not... Well, she pulled out her axes. Is there a reason that you did that? No. Yeah, so if I attempt to move that, then the door will shut and I'm still locked in here. So we're not doing anything with that just yet. So this is between Joyce and Yihan. Joyce says, I'm really, really ready to move out of Habitas right now. Yihan says, yeah, I know. Of course, some people get their own rooms while we're stuck in here sleeping like sardines. Ha-Jun's feet smell so bad. How am I supposed to sleep like this? Yihan says, why are you even sleeping that way and not heads on the same side of the bunk? Get this, because she wants some privacy. OMG, ha ha ha. Instead of making chill pills to distract us from the fact that housing is never going to get built, they should at least invest in some deodorant. You sound like those Homeward people. And Joyce says, yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's how people get radicalized on this stuff. Their quality of life is trash. Oh. Marsman, issue 5, Revelations. Oh, this is this is an unpublished one. Confidential, Marsman issue 5, written by Conrad von Schack, illustrations by Crossed Off. I don't know what you're up to with this, but whatever it is, you're going to have to do it without me. Why kick the hornet's nest, Con? As the astronaut confronts the Martian Council with their atrocities, our hero receives support from all sides as Martians rally with him. They want to become human again. As the Council tries to elaborate on their ways and traditions, the shouts for freedom grow. Will the astronaut be able to save the people from tyranny? Yeah, right on. Okay. Okay, so... let me just recap. So this outputs 4 bars of energy. If I aim it at this thing here, that's way too much energy coming into that one. Do I have access to move the splitter? Not currently. Let's get Ayla. Now, Ayla, you can move this, right? So... yeah. Here's what we're going to try to do. Let me put this... we want to move this so that it doesn't hit the resistor. And now we've done that. Okay, let me go back. Now this door is open. Now we can get the resistor out. It's gotta... There we go. Okay, so now we have +1 resistor. Let me set that right there for a second. Now, we don't need to be in this room, so this beam from the splitter is freed up. Do I know if there's any way in here to open this door so that I can get access to the splitter? It's a little dark in here, but I want to say that this room is not accessible to anyone but Ayla. So now that we don't need access to that door, is there someplace else that we should be focusing that beam? Well, maybe if we don't split it... Hold on. Let's put this here. So all I can do, though, is pick it up. I don't feel like I can re-aim it at all. Yeah, I pick up and place. And that's all I've got. If Kathy was in here, then she's got some additional interactions, but... as far as I know, I can't do those. Alright, let's pick up our resistor. Now the question is, can we go upstairs with the resistor? No. So the resistor is trapped on this floor. I feel like there's still a piece of this that I'm missing. Well, if we aim this upstairs... that door opens right, because we already got the resistor out of there. So now, this generator really can't do anything except aim straight across. Like, there's no point in going upstairs anymore. And I can't... yeah. We've got no other targets that are in this room. So why do I want this resistor? Where are we beaming too much electricity to something that I need to put that in the way? And it does feel like it's got to be on the first floor, because Kathy cannot climb with both of her hands busy holding the resistor. Okay, there's another resistor in here. So I want to move this out of the way then. No, this is the one... hold on, this is the one that if the resistor's not there, then it's too much electricity, right? Am I... Unfortunately, they've given me a puzzle that takes place across 2 separate floors, and that is... fortunately, it's just 2 big rings. It's not that complicated of a space, and they don't make it difficult to go around. That's what we have to do. We have to put... no, we don't. I was about to say we have to put 2 resistors, but that's the problem is not too much power, it's too little power. Okay, let me come over here again. I get it. I know what it is. We put this here. It's too much power. Now we take this resistor and we put it in the way here, and then we can get the upstairs resistor. Okay. Piecing it together. There's a lot of ways to solve this in a lot fewer steps. Sometimes the way to do it is I take a look to see what are all of the pieces available to me, and then how do I make use of them in the best way. So like now we've got this additional resistor. And again, now that we've gotten everything out of this room, I'm just going to take a quick look around. That's it. So that resistor down there is free to be moved, and we don't ever have to worry about powering up this room again. Similar to the one downstairs, this one I'm willing to bet cannot change floors. So, where does this want to go? Like, what does having this get me? Why is this a part of the puzzle? And I could also be wrong about not being able to go downstairs with it, but one thing that we have a good reason to suspect is that if we go downstairs, we don't get to come back upstairs. Okay, well, we're downstairs now, so hopefully this was correct. If that was a game-breaking bug, then I'm kind of boned. Alright. Oh, it is that it has too much power. Okay, so I was right. We were going to put that resistor there. And then we're going to grab a second resistor and also put it in the path. Okay, so once we focus through there, the door should open. Well... Okay, once we move this slightly over. Now the door opens. Also, I do like that little wind chime that it does when you solve the puzzle. It's its own version of the little Zelda tune. Okay, let's take a look at this.
Isaac, are you in the Panopticon with MacArthur? Isaac, please respond. Isaac, are you still alive? I'm sorry it all came to this. Tell MacArthur to turn on Abatos. Isaac.
Rosa. They murdered her. Savages. Hey. Still with Rosa after all these years? Why didn't you tell us where you were going?
I just saw Ace and went after him. Found another hologram. MacArthur shut down Labos to stop Rosa and Homewood from activating the launch sequence. Then, I think, he shut off the oxygen from the entire colony.
You've seen Isaac in these holograms, haven't you? We're leaving.
What?
What?
We'll restart the MPT connection to Labos from the bridge. We're gonna prep Habitas for launch and be gone before nightfall.
What about Arc Vita?
Rosa is dead, Kathy. Everyone is dead, and anyone that's left is probably armed and wouldn't hesitate to kill us.
But we haven't completed the mission.
We are a man down, and mission-critical gear that could have helped us is missing. Arc Vita may be important, but we don't know where it is, and we don't know if it's functional, and I will not risk the success of this mission on finding it. So we are leaving now. That is an order.
So, what do we do with this little guy?
Ace, turn around. ASC unit 63754-N. Ownership transfer. Lunar Council override. 170544. Isaac Johansson. Say your name.
Say my... Ryan Delyanin. Well, this is new.
Kathy, align the dish with Arc Lavos.
Yep, I'll do that. Oh, is it really just here? Wait, why do I have to do it then? It seems like you were closer.
It's done.
Right. Ryan, conduct final checks, and then we're gone.
On it.
Sarah,
What the...
Are we? What did you do?
I
You
don't...
did that on purpose. What?
Sarah,
That
stop.
was our last way off the planet.
Stop!
There is
Stop!
no way home.
Sarah,
That was our
stop!
last way to
Hey,
power
wait.
the Ark.
Sarah!
We
Stop
are
it!
not going
Keep
home.
holding yourself.
Don't you understand?
Sarah!
It's okay.
Ryan, I swear, I have no idea what happened. MPTs don't work like that. I couldn't have made it happen even if I wanted to. Not that I wanted to, I just...
I know.
Is she okay?
Yeah. Yeah, she'll be fine. She just needs a second or two or a few hours.
So, what now?
How likely is it that the MPT dish can still be hooked up, do you think?
Not very likely.
So, there's a small chance.
Well, we'd have to hope that the dish didn't take the brunt of the impact. And even if it didn't, it'd need to be in line of sight with Habitas, and I'd have to check all the transformers and converters and hope that they're
I
all
think
still
it's the last
intact.
bit of hope we have. I can't leave Sarah like this. But I can take your lead on this from here.
Okay.
Kat? We're counting on you.
Hello to Haseo, who said hello during that that cutscene, and we might get some dialogue here, or maybe not. Okay, so just to cover a couple things that I do know. So, Arc Vita, that's the one that has like all of the genetic information and the seed vault and all the other things. It was described previously as being sort of like a like basically the Genesis device from Wrath of Khan, that it has this ability to like 3D print actual life and could be used over time to rejuvenate the biosphere on planet Earth. That, combined with that big green glowing ball that they had in there, that technology seems like it might have some promise to reverse some of the ecological damage to Earth. So that's why Kathy's saying, well, we haven't found Arc Vita. It actually is very important, and in a situation where it does seem like Kathy's priorities are compromised by this desire to find her father, and, by the way, defend her father from things that it seems increasingly likely that he may have had a hand in. On that one point, Sarah, I do think, is underestimating the importance of Arc Vita. She's also not wrong, by the way, because, like, they've lost Claire, they don't have a lot of their resources, they do know where all of this stuff is. If they can get word back to Earth, then the next shipment from Earth may include men with guns, and, you know, who could, you know, locate and come back with a lot more resources. It does feel like a long shot, because they had to invest so heavily just in this flight to get them out there, but it's something. And if they don't get the truth back to Earth, the facts of the situation, then they all die, then really bad things might happen. Aside from that, I did just want to cover the fact that when Kathy says, MacArthur turned off the oxygen and killed everybody, we don't know that. Kathy is saying that, but the last thing that we know is that Rosa was saying to Isaac, go up to the Panopticon and talk to MacArthur and tell him that we're going back to Earth. And then I didn't see Isaac there as everybody else was suffocating. It seems likely that Isaac left and then all the oxygen was turned off. So we don't have access to the information on who did it. And MacArthur is a stupid asshole, but he hasn't shown a lot of inclination towards killing people that disagree with him. He'll put them in prison, he'll force feed them drugs, but we haven't seen any evidence that he like, even his security ASEs are non-lethal. So that seems like a jump. At the same time, it doesn't seem like the sort of thing that Isaac would do either. So there's a piece of information that we're missing. Jab says it makes no sense to me that they did not bring guns this time. They did. If you remember, now I forget if it was episode 1 or episode 2, but Sarah had a case of firearms, and Kat stole them and threw them away. Something that, by the way, as far as I remember, has not been addressed by Sarah. Sarah, like, it never came up again after that, which I have to say is pretty weird. But yeah, they did bring firearms, and Kathy disposed of them. I want to say that was that episode 1? No, that was definitely episode 2. Yeah, because that happened after we got to the surface of the planet. Boy, by the end of this, I'm really going to want to have a think about how, like, is Kathy the reason that so many things have gone wrong? Hold on.
Yeah, I see it. Looks like it landed on its side. Dish looks in decent shape, but I'll need to get closer to properly inspect it. With any luck, the IAS took most of the hit.
Okay. If it doesn't work, I'm crossing all my fingers and toes over here.
How's Sarah?
Still resting. Let's give her some good news. Okay?
Yeah.
It would have been fun to do that jump, but A, there's no boost feature. Like, we're not actually in a Mako. And B, it would feel a little out of character right now for Kathy to be all woo-hoo doing the Dukes of Hazzard jump here on Mars. Okay. And so I wanted to go over the things that I know, because here's the things that I'm like less clear on. This thing that just crashed, that was the Ark that was in orbit at the beginning that had all of those solar panels for everything, right? And if so, this wasn't Ark Habitas. Habitas is like the place where everyone was living, because remember that we found the text chat that said I'm so ready to get out of Habitas. So this was the other Ark. We've got Vita, we've got Habitas, and then there's this one, but I don't remember what this one was called. Labos, there we go. Earth would have really benefited from having this Ark back home. Revolutionary tech completely demolished. Did I do this? No, and I'm going to go so far as to say I don't think MacArthur would have done this. I don't know if Isaac would have done this. In other words, what I'm having trouble putting together is what would Isaac's motivation have been to smash this, to stop anybody from going home? And these are all rhetorical questions. They're all things that I'm looking forward to getting the answer to, but don't want to, like, see in chat that anybody's shared their foreknowledge yet. Hello to Donk! Donk, I hope that your Sunday has been good. Yeah, unless I missed the conversation or I'm just misremembering, Sarah never once says to either Ryan or Kat, yo, what'd you do with my guns? Neither one of them were, like, pleased to see that, but, well, I'll say this. As far as Sarah knows, Kat did not know that the guns were there, because Kat was pretending to be asleep. Still, she's no dummy. I kind of feel like she... Oh, that's right, I do have a flashlight in this game. Stumbling around in the dark. I feel like, Sarah's sharp enough that she would have put 1 and 1 together. Okay, here we go. The mechanic I'm best at. Go up. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that one planted. I thought it might catch in the seam. Now, just for... Okay, so we do go higher up, yeah? Donk says, so far so good. And same to you. Yeah, I've had a... Okay. I don't know why that went bad. And I've only got so much air, so I'd rather not dawdle. Doesn't John Carter take place on Mars? Oh, you know what? Hold on, I'm not sprinting. Ugh, this is not cool. I really prefer not to suffocate here. Okay, so sprint, jump, plant. Oh. Cut. What am I cutting? Oh. The other thing I don't know is, like, what was the deal with Ark Labos? Was it just a lot of, like, energy generation? Because Habitas was where they were living. Vita is, you know, the life printer. So Labos seems like it was their, like, orbital... Because they had these, like, revolutionary solar cells.
Better write that down.
Which we're looking at right now. A hybrid-styled solar panel like this never fully got developed on Earth, but here on Mars, they had it. These people knew the secrets to making these vessels before they left the moon. They could have flown them back to us. Yeah, well, they could have done a lot of stuff, Kat. They weren't terribly interested in being helpful. Hello to Fox McCloud, who says, if I ever have a welder like that, I want it to be in the design of a Nintendo Power Glove. That would help it to be extra bad, I think. Okay. Okay, I don't like this. Hold on. Even if this slides, I gotta do this right or else I'm gonna fall. Okay. Jam is saying Barsoom, but yes, Mars. Wait, what is Barsoom? Okay, well that got us our electricity back. We got another beam puzzle coming up.
Is it still functional? Scan it.
What I want on a laser welder like that is some ability to not have it accidentally cut my friends in half.
Let's get it going.
Like I'm
Shame we
Homelander.
won't be able to take it back with us. There's nothing like this on Earth.
Okay, so that's too much juice there. This is... hopefully not a Star Trek goo monster. Okay, so this cannot aim higher than it is right now. I think I'm probably going to send Ayla up to get that scanner. Yeah, let's just set this down for 1 second. Let me go back. I think Ayla can grab this for us. Okay. No, this is not a valid platform, it turns out. Nor is that. So, how do you suppose that we would start to hit those things in the side? Barsoom was what the Martians called Mars in the John Carter books. Oh, okay. I've never read John Carter. I was only aware of... The only reason that I knew anything about John Carter, that I'd ever even heard of it, was because of that Taylor Kitsch movie, or the movie in which Taylor Kitsch played John Carter. Oh, I don't think this is going to work because we can't aim this at all. Yeah, let me bring this back down. And the director... Oh, and there's another splitter right there. The director of that Taylor Kitsch John Carter movie, which I would like to see, by the way. I'd really like to see that someday. He thought that John Carter was such a famous character, like such an infamous book series that everybody would know it, that just by putting out a trailer that said like the name John Carter, that everybody was like, oh my god, they're finally making a John Carter movie. And it's like, okay, unfortunately, a lot of people just, I mean, I'd never heard of John Carter. I'm sure that of a certain age that some people have. So this is actually welded into place, as we can see. I mean, unless I can cut away this wreckage somehow, and I'm not seeing any cut lines on this, that resistor remains stationary. So that's good. That's one piece that we don't need to worry about. Hello to Zerder, who says Ark Habitats is living space, Ark Vita was the life printer, and Ark Labos laboratory, maybe? Yeah, I think it might have been like scientific development and their big solar panel dealy. Well, I mean, I guess technically we could hit one of those. Let's place it. Can I aim this? So we can hit there. And then there. Wait, what's the... Hold on. Okay, although I put it onto the green thing, it then moves. Oops. Let me try doing it slightly higher. No, it really doesn't like that. Hold on, let me go slightly higher where it's red. Come on, come on. Up. No, look at that. It locks in properly there. So it really doesn't want to do that. Oh, there's another splitter. I'm going to say that unless it's going to tell me that I can't move this, that I'm allowed to do it. Okay, but the problem is that unless I can navigate my way up here with Kathy, I can't aim it if it's up here. Let's put that there. And do I have any pathway to get up there with Kathy? This doesn't look like it's intended to be climbable. No. No, look at this. I can get up onto... No, I can't get onto this box now. So, yeah, there's an invisible wall stopping me from climbing on that. So this is a no-go zone for Kathy. Although this might not be. Okay. We can do it this way. Okay. Now... we'll aim there. And there. So, I guess theoretically now, if I shoot that with the beam thing, that should turn on? Let's find out. Jab was pretty excited when the movie was announced. I have a copy of it. Did you... So, without any spoilers, Jab, did you enjoy it? And... of course. Of course. Alright. Well, then let's move this down. We'll put this guy right here. And yeah, let's... Oops. Sorry. Can I put this back? Let's aim one. Why is this not turning green? Now it's greenish, and now we'll go there. Okay, let's see what happens if we aim at that.
This one's good. Time for the next.
Okay, so I got the proper amount of power there. This other one, though, like, that beam is not doing anything. Like, it's not even transmitting to that one, which is weird. Maybe it would be better to have this one aiming at that one. Although, like, you got to imagine that this resistor must be here for some reason. I don't know what that reason is yet. That doesn't go through the resistor, though. Oh, Jab said that it was not very good. The John Carter movie. I think Taylor Kitsch is underrated. So that is generating, that's bringing in too much power. And I just want to verify my theory. We can't move this with what's-his-face, can we? Oh, we can! Okay, well that changes everything, because now I don't really know where I'd put this to make use of this knowledge. Let's put that there. And now I bet if we just move this slightly. Let's put it here. Let's put it here. Okay, and now we just have to make sure that that goes through the resistor, and it should be able to power that on and turn everything on. Except I can't do that with my robo hands. Zerder, I hope that you're also having a nice Sunday. T-minus 6 days until Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, now that looks right. Okay, so we've got that happening. It may or may not be correct, but that gets us at least a little bit started. So now we've got to figure out how to get to the ones on the other side, I think. And I do have another splitter back here, so I don't yet know what to do with that knowledge. Okay, let's put that there. Now, I need to get Kathy up there to aim the beams. We've got one right here that we've got to do. We've got two up here that we've got to do. And then, as far as I've seen, 0 on this side. And the ones over here are already done. So, I think we aim it through one splitter and then through another splitter, but I'm not 100% sure yet. Let's put this here. And then we're going to aim one up there and one over here. Now, the only thing is that I've got to get Kathy up there to redirect that one. Is it just the same deal? Hold on. Let me get a drone's eye view on this. Oh, you know what? Yeah. We come up this side, and then maybe I can jump across to that. It feels like it's a very long way, but let me give it a shot. Taylor Kitsch, for example, was very, very good, I thought, in that Battleship movie. Battleship was not a very good movie, but I liked him in it a lot, and he had the best line in the entire movie. Nope. And that actually hurt, so I don't want to do that very many more times. This doesn't seem like the way this is supposed to be done. No. If I put that splitter down here, we know from experience that I can't hit those generators. Let me even start this and let's see what it does. Okay, so we've got the right amount of power going to that guy there. We've got the right amount of power going to this guy here. I think. We just have to be able to aim it. Can I... Maybe I can get up the other side? Okay, Kathy, just climb with your hands. I am not seeing a way up onto that platform from anywhere. Jab watched all 3 Hangover movies over the weekend, never saw them before. I also have never seen them. What were your thoughts? I've heard good things. I know a lot of people who really enjoy them. So I know that I can get up here. What I can't see is a way to work my way around from here. I guess maybe I could try to climb onto this beam, but this is not a big platformer like that. Usually your pathways are going to be relatively clearly designed. No, and we can't go through the middle of that. Kathy is very particular on what she will and will not climb on. Oh, can I climb up and over it? I only just now noticed that this is that thermal shielding stuff. Okay. There we go. It's the one path I hadn't considered, going over the big power generator thing. Or whatever this is. Okay, hold on. Let's put it down. And now we're going to aim at 1 and 2.
That's it, Ayla. Now we can hook the Arc's MPT up to Habitas. Should be above us.
Should be above us, is what she says. But not this way above us. And not this way above us. Jab thought that the first one was pretty good. The second one was not as good as the first, but enjoyable. And the third one was not good at all. That is always disappointing to me when... And I guess this wasn't like a pre-planned trilogy. It was just like, man, that first one did well. Let's do some more of them. But it's still a bummer to me when you have like a series that just slides downhill. Okay. I'm not close enough to this one yet. What I like about this conceptually is that, like, although we're watching the symbols in the middle, the drone is, like, scanning the 3D space.
Yes, sir.
Activate a security protocol on the MPT connection right now.
I don't understand.
Homeward insurgents are trying to commandeer the colony. Turn off Arc Labos completely and add an authorization protocol to the MPT software.
Sir?
If any attempts to restart the MPT connection to Hobbiters are made without my authorization, set the ship's thrusters to overclock.
But they'll burn through. Labos will be adrift. It could even cause a chain reaction through the fuselage and destroy the entire vessel.
Do it! Set the authorization condition to Argus's decryption clearance only. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Ryan, I know why the Ark crashed. When the insurgents started in Habitas, MacArthur put a kill switch protocol on the MPT connection.
The same MPT connection we almost restarted on Labos.
Yeah. If anyone restarted the connection without his council code, the thrusters would burn out. That destroyed Labos. I'm gonna go check the dish.
Alright. Good luck.
Hold on, we're gonna have to do that jumpy thing, so we're gonna get over as far as we can. Okay, we made it. Alright, and she said it was above us, but I feel like I've gone as far above as I can go. I'm outside again, so I probably don't want to move too slowly, but I also don't want to fall. Oh, shit! I saw it too late. I went to do my axes, but I missed them. Okay, we'll do better this time. Okay, am I still going down, though? Because down still seems far. I could, like, gently lower myself down, but aren't we trying to get further into the craft? I have to say, I don't see a lot of places to go here, but we might be able to climb all the way up.
Let's not do that again, ever.
Okay, this sucks. This sucks. Let's go. Okay, that's fine, though. Guess we'll go this way. Hello to Samalander. Samalander, thank you very much for the fun, SnowRunner stream earlier today. This is awful. Oh, okay.
All right. The air axis is misaligned. Hopefully the hydraulics survived the crash. I'll head to the bridge now to check.
Fingers crossed.
I think it's amazing that anything survived the crash. Also, Zerder was asking Samalander if it is Saturday yet. Regrettably, not yet. I will also be looking forward to next Saturday. Mostly because it'll be a Saturday. Okay, just trying to find some sort of purchase. Okay.
Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out.
Okay. The climbing is not difficult from like a control standpoint, but you're really dialed in on exactly where the axe is going to go. And I've made a sufficient number of mistakes that wound up with Kathy's death that now I'm like even more careful about just making sure that the axe finds proper purchase. No? So it does look like we can go forward, but yeah, I want to find stuff like this. So Guy and Robbie, Guy's writing, or is it Robbie? Robbie writes it hurts to move even in 0G. Guy says it feels like my head is being crushed behind my eyes, but I'm so glad to see that the top Labos engineer still is also only human. Robbie's been hovering all over the toilet all morning. Self-made stuff, never again. Guy says, I'm using a triple serving of our ration to get through today. Screw it, haha, Robbie says, sorry, slept through it, but I see you kept the ship in one piece, and Guy says, yeah, all good. Now, I never checked the date. That was on 8/12. So on 8/13, next day, shuttle's coming up from the surface, but it's not MacArthur. We still got a month left before rotation, right? Can you come up here, just in case? And then that was the end of the conversation. So a shuttle came up.
I'll make a note of this.
From Mars. No word on how that went. Unscheduled, without being announced. Activate the MPT. Well, I mean, we did that once before. Before I make any rash decisions. Oh, that was a spark. I thought it might have been like that blue sort of glimmer that you get when you can scan something. Yeah, I feel like that's everything. Okay, let's activate the MPT. I guess the thrusters are all burned out now, so we don't have to worry about it.
Damn it. Ayla, we need to head up to the dish and clear the rubble from the joints manually.
Where do I do that? Head up to the dish. Yeah, John Carter is one of those movies that I would like to see. It's similar to like that. Did I say Battlefield before? Battleship is the other Taylor Kitsch movie that I was thinking of, and I am like, that movie's not good, but I enjoyed seeing it. I enjoyed learning what it was. It's kind of fascinating to me that somebody said, let's make a movie out of Battleship, but you know, I respect the attempt, I guess, the fact that they went to it, and that, again, I thought that Taylor Kitsch did a good job. I don't know anything about John Carter. Like, there's not going to be a good version of John Carter or a bad version of John Carter to me. It's just going to be like, oh, okay, so that's who John Carter is. Okay, and this is... that's that. Down. And now this is in and out.
Damn it, Keegan! Unlock this door!
No, listen. McCarthy's rigged the thrusters. If you try and restart the MPT, we're either going to be left adrift, or it could blow the whole arc. He's the only one who can authorize the reconnection.
We're dealing with him as we speak. Move aside!
You can't!
Arlo, break through the door!
Are you crazy? You're going to...
Hard breach detected. Lockdown imminent.
Key? I'm at the Panopticon. Is Lavos alright? MacArthur.
Isaac! I'm a hole in the ship! We're gonna...
Dad was at the Panopticon during the riots. I knew it. We have to go there next.
Sorry. I feel bad that I didn't quite catch what she said immediately before we have to go there next. What am I doing? Reach the MPT dish and clear it from debris, which is over there. Okay. Oh, so I totally went the wrong way to find that hologram. I'm glad that I did. Sam Lander is saying that John Carter wasn't bad, just horribly mispromoted. I read an article once, like I said, about like the fact that like I guess the director was a little bit new and wasn't like keyed in on the promotional side of stuff, so went ahead and was getting like saving a lot of the special effects work for last, and as a result there wasn't like a big flashy like scene to put into the trailer. Okay, sorry, just looking to see where we want to cut. But also thought that it wasn't going to be a big deal because like, oh, like John Carter, we're finally doing a John Carter. Everyone knows who John Carter is. Like this is going to be huge. And then audiences, and this includes me, by the way, were like, okay, I mean, I don't know who John Carter is, but sure, I guess I'll be interested to see that, maybe. Oh, do I need to, I clearly need to, maybe I don't.
Right. Moment of truth. Time to reconnect the dish, Ayla. If this doesn't work, well, we'll never get into the Panopticon. We'll go home.
Well, see, now I don't know how to get back inside. Also, Sam Lander's saying, as Angel has, Hardspace Shipbreaker flashbacks. If only. Yeah, I would be really interested to know what that development team is doing because, like, more, please, more of Hardspace Shipbreaker. I don't care if it's a story expansion. I don't care if it's more ships. I don't care if it's adding ray tracing. Just give me any reason to revisit that game. I had so much fun with that. That game was a way of life for a couple weeks.
Work. Yes. Okay.
What's the connect button? X?
That is the most goddamn beautiful MPT beam I've ever seen in my entire life. Head back. We'll leave ASAP. I'll get Habitats prepped for launch.
Okay. See you soon. but not before I find Dad.
I'm relieved it's cutscening because I did not have a lot of oxygen.
Kathy, we're ready to leave. Are you back yet?
On my way. Be there soon.
Okay.
Kathy lies a lot. I just want to acknowledge that. I understand her motivations. I'm not like sitting over here being like super mad about it, but enter the floor alone. Is this the up? Hold on. Okay, hopefully this is the up. Keep my ears.
Ailey, you don't think that's... MacArthur.
Oh, I don't get to kill MacArthur?
I'll get that done.
Was MacArthur supervising the entire colony from here? He was in total control over all of it and all of its inhabitants. For the record, I did not think that Kathy was ever going to be responsible for killing MacArthur, but I wouldn't have objected to the opportunity.
There's no way out, MacArthur! Open this door!
William, enough is enough. Reconnect Labos and let's settle this. Me, you, and Rosa. You're both destroying everything we built here. William. William, are you listening to me?
Suit up, Isaac.
What are you doing?
Just put your suit on. Outward, this is MacArthur. If the mutineers don't stand down immediately, I will shut down Ark Habitas.
William, you can't. You'll kill everyone.
Not everyone. Switch to your suit's oxygen pack.
There are people out there who still believe in Outward. Innocent people. Are you willing to sacrifice them too?
Only I have the strength to do what needs to be done. To save this. So, yes, Isaac, I am. What did you...
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Isaac, are you still alive? I'm sorry. It all came to this. Tell MacArthur to turn on Habitas. Isaac.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Labos. Guy, I'm at the Panopticon. Is Labos alright? MacArthur.
Isaac! I'm on door of the ship! We're going!
Hello? Globos! Is anyone still on the ship? Come in! Come in, Globos! Outward. People of Mars. This is Isaac Johansson. It's, please meet me at Ark Vita. All of us.
Wait, which direction was that? It seemed like that was an eye shot. Okay, well, this is the way that we came in, so we're gonna go around this way. Let's see more story and then circle back to these events.
We have to get in there, Ayla.
Okay. How do you start? Well, since I'm going... And this is me just sort of talking and thinking aloud, not requesting information from people who've played. What is going through Isaac's mind as he stands at the terminal where he can save the lives of everyone, and I stress everyone, that is on Ark Labos, or sorry, Ark Habitas, and he hesitates and he doesn't press the button? What kind of unique indecision is that? Also, where do I go from here? Maybe I use my friend here. Okay. I mean, I do, but I need to cut that. Oh, I can stand up in here. Okay, that makes it much easier. Well, whatever, we got in. I missed one of the buckles. Oops. Hold on, that was not the unlock button. Jab is saying, I'm confused, did he give them air or not? He did repressurize it because it had air when we arrived as Kathy, but he didn't seem to consider it a priority for a few moments there. He sort of stopped and thought about it while he was listening to Rosa gasping for air and suffocating. As far as I can read that scene, he did not do it as quickly as he could have. My God, it's reflecting everything except my hair. That's a poorly communicated Sphere reference. Oh, what a luxurious bathroom. You get to do your business behind this very thin partition. But you're probably the only person in the room because look at this estate. Look at this penthouse. Whose room do you suppose this was while everyone was sleeping in their goddamn coffins? Oh, look at this, a little reading nook. Oh, he's got a television. Wow. All basking in the green glow of his technology that could save Earth, but instead he just gets to keep it all for himself. God damn this guy. God damn this guy. Okay, so I gotta watch the hologram or else I'm gonna burst a blood vessel.
Please work.
Please authorize outgoing encrypted radio transmission.
Argus, authorized, please. I can't believe it. Moonbear. I can't put into words how much I've missed you. If you're hearing this, you know where it's transmitting from. 2 years ago, the Outward Colony lost connection to Ark Labos, our main power source. I'm stationed at Ark Vita, the same ship you saw on the moon when you were little, remember? Encrypted in this radio transmission will be the exact location of Ark Vita. I'll play it now for Ayla to decipher. Just know, Moonbear, I'm still alive. Come find me, please.
Outgoing transmission failed.
Damn it.
I told Claire over and over again that you weren't ready for this. That you wouldn't rise to the occasion. But to keep this from us? We're leaving. Now.
You're one to talk.
Excuse me?
I know you only brought me here so that I could pull on my dad's heartstrings so he'd come quietly. So you could lock him up forever.
Yeah, exactly where he belongs. It was that,
or what? Plan B?
What did you do with the weapons?
I got rid of them.
Apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You have so much potential to help so many people, and you're gonna throw it away for your own goddamn selfish reasons.
Sarah, this isn't the way to do this.
Claire would be so disappointed that you turned out exactly like your father. So strong, yet so weak.
You're the one that brought guns. What is it? Revenge? Your pain brought you here, Sarah, so who's the weak one?
You have no idea what I have been through. I am trying to do what's right. I am trying to save everyone.
By leaving without Ark Vita? Doesn't Earth need it? Or are you just too afraid to face my father without a gun in your hand? I'm going to Ark Vita. I'm going to find my father.
Not in a million years.
Ayla, now.
Go! Sarah? Kathy! Very quickly, because I don't know if we're going to get into some more dialogue. Did anybody catch exactly how many years it's been in that recording? He said right at the beginning, it was like 2 years, 3 years. How many years has it been since they lost contact with Ark Labos, their main power source? And hello to Lord Impa, I think it is. I see you playing a similar game to Deliver Us to the Moon. Yes, this is the direct sequel. I don't want to like queue it up because I don't want to like get into it, but like how many years was it? Because they basically they were out for a couple years.
What are you doing? You're jeopardizing everything. Get back here right now. You're putting the entire mission at risk. Kathy!
I don't know how to go down from here. I don't know where to go. I'm trying to hurry because it seems narratively appropriate. I don't know where to go. Here we go. Jab is saying a whole colony of people betrayed Earth and their own left their own families to die. Yes, I'm bringing guns. Yeah, and especially like again to sort of like to understand, Isaac Johansson personally stabbed Sarah Baker through the abdomen. She almost died. I can understand how she would have feelings about going to interact with this guy again.
Kathy, there's a dust storm coming in. Do you want to get yourself killed? Head back now. Turn back now. This'll all be for nothing. Kathy, don't.
I'll also note, Lord Impa, we're pretty deep into the game. If you haven't played this, I'd hate to deliver spoilers, but that's why we try to mark things as like episode 3 and stuff. Or if you have already played it, welcome. And we are going through this for the very first time. Drive to Vita. Okay.
We'll make it through, Ayla. I'm not changing course.
Kathy, I know what you want to find, but I don't think it will be what you want it to be. We've seen the pain and destruction. We know what they're capable of. We shouldn't. If you want me to say it, I'll say it. I'm afraid. I'm afraid of what you will find there. Afraid that we'll fail to save Earth. I'm afraid of your father. But maybe more so than anything, I'm afraid of you. Do you understand that?
Oh shit. Okay.
Of everyone in your hands, and I'm not sure what you're gonna do with it. Please don't do this all by yourself. Kathy, please turn back. Kathy, are you reading any of this? Kathy? Kathy?
Kathy! Kathy!
Dad! Where are you?
As it turns out, Chapter 9, Lord Impa.
Dad! Help me!
Where are you?
Dad!
I see you! Here, Moonbat! Come over here!
I could have sworn I heard him over here. Okay, this can't be right then. I do like the fact that she's wearing different clothes. I feel like a lot of games don't bother to do things like costume changes because it takes extra time and stuff. So I always appreciate it when they go to that, because this is a different day than the last time that we saw young Kathy.
I'll find her. Take Kathy to the closet under the stairs. Stay inside the closet no matter what. Mum and I will join you as fast as we can. Liz? Liz!
Kathy, come here, quick! Kathy! Hurry!
We found Kathy! Liz?
Isaac? Where are you?
At the house! Come back to the house!
I can't make out where you are!
Follow my voice! Quick! Quick, the storm is getting closer!
I can't find you!
Liz? Liz?
It's in the observatory!
No! Don't go in there! It's not safe in the... No! Liz!
Kathy, stay here, okay? Stay here, okay? Stay there. Okay. Dad? Dad? Dad, where are you? Dad? Dad, are you okay?
Come on, baby. Get up, Liz. Come on. Liz, the storm's over. Come on now. Get up. Get up. It's time to get... Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. God, if we just move. God, why don't we just move? Come on. I couldn't move. We have to place. We have to just move. Oh.
Lord Impa is saying it's been so long as well. I think the last time you were here, that they were here, I was playing Ori in the Blind Forest. Yeah, that sounds about right. I enjoyed Ori a great deal. That was just before the new year. And for people watching the VOD, this is about April 2023. Sort of the last third of April. Also, that clarified something that I had stopped wondering about, which is that in a lot of Kathy's flashbacks, the house was destroyed. But what I had started to think was that it was just sort of like the memory of it was broken in her like mind palace. Like we were seeing a representation of the fact that it was sort of like smashed in her memory. I had stopped thinking that it had been actually damaged in a storm or anything like that, but that gave us a lot of clarity on what happened to Kathy's mother. Although, was the house rebuilt? Because then she has other memories of like being inside of the shattered house, but like when her father came back from the moon to take her from Claire after winning the custody battle, the house itself was smashed. And that's sort of why it's like it wouldn't make any sense for that scene to be happening there. But if that scene happened after the scene that we just saw, because by that time their mother is deceased, I guess they rebuilt the whole house. It looked like a total loss. Oh, I'm not coming at this from a wise angle. Okay, let's always aim with your car facing out. But it's good to have you here again, Lord Impa Impa. Also, Jab is saying very quickly, I don't get why Sarah doesn't want the tech, though. I think Sarah considers continue going to the tech to be an unacceptable risk, and I think that assessment is being influenced by her post-traumatic stress syndrome about being, having been stabbed by Isaac. I think that being back in this environment, back in a suit, having a lot of exposure to like the med beds, the cryo beds and stuff, I think it's putting her into a really unstable place emotionally. And I will also note that Sarah Baker is better in a compromised, unstable state than I am on my best day. So I say all of that without any sort of judgment. But Kathy, the writing in these games are at their best, I think, when I feel like I completely understand why both sides of the conversation are where they are. And I 100% understand why Kathy's doing, holy shit, I did not think we were going to find alive humans who may or may not be wearing clothes. I'm actually not certain right now. Okay, they are clothed. I wouldn't have been upset if they just said, screw this. Wow, no? Oh, I guess people must go outside all the time, so they just haven't recognized that I'm not from here. Yeah, I like the writing in this game and its predecessor are at their best when I'm like, I understand exactly why the characters are fighting for what they're fighting for, and they have different priorities, but they're not just being stupid or short-sighted or selfish. They legitimately have good reasons for what they're doing. And for Kathy, it's we need the technology on Arc Vita to bring back to Earth. It's not just about us getting back, it's about bringing back something that will help everybody. And also, I want to find my dad. If it was just about finding my dad, I feel like her case would be a lot weaker.
Is Isaac here? Isaac Johansson?
You're so big. You get so big. You get so big. You got my message?
Yeah. But the only bit that got through was the first word.
Moonbear. I can't believe how much you've grown. I would have given anything to,
Isaac? Conrad here.
Hey, Con.
We're still low on carbon. We need about 1,000 cc's from Habitus to finish up Vita's prints.
No, I'm really sorry. Odim's dropping fast, so Miyoshi's hydrogen request takes priority. But I'll authorize your request immediately so Jill can add it to the next run.
Sure thing. Thanks.
Authorize the request, Argus.
Is that MacArthur's ASE?
Yes. I took him with me after the, well...
These are the only people that survived.
Yes. I really wish there were more, but it was a dark day. We've been through a lot. The division, the violence. Our energy resources are really limited ever since that day. The only thing that we have in abundance is oxygen coming in from Habitas. Besides that, we really have to balance what our resources allow us to sustain, which is difficult. But we made it work.
It's so beautiful here. It looks even prettier than Earth.
Yeah.
The other colonists, they're not really happy to see me, are they?
It's not that. I never told them I sent that message. I don't think they ever expected to see anyone else ever again.
Oh.
I don't know how to advance this conversation. This is weird. I'm being asked if I had finished Deliver Us to the Moon. Yes. Oh, that's how we do it. Oh, sorry, Dad. You were charging ahead again. I sort of thought that you might get the gate, but that's cool. Yeah, there's a full playthrough of Deliver Us to the Moon, and I enjoyed it very much and wanted to check out the sequel.
There's something I want to show you. It took a long time and more resources than I care to admit, but I guess I just couldn't let it go.
Dad. I don't have any words.
Come on, have a look around. When you're done looking around, I've got a surprise for you in the kitchen.
Wait, this wasn't the surprise.
Well, yes and no. But now I may be hyping it up too much. Maybe you won't like it. I don't know. Just enjoy and look around first if you want.
Okay, I will look around. Does everybody get a super awesome house? And yeah, I recognize this as being the house where he lived with his family, but I'm not ever gonna be able to be friends with somebody who says, well, I'm in charge, so I get all of these special privileges while everybody else has to make sacrifices. That's always gonna get under my skin. Hold on, I don't want to see him. I want to go up to my room. I don't want to accidentally trigger whatever the next cutscene is. I'll say this for sure. Isaac Johansson is an interesting dude. Oh, hold on. I hear a... Is it this? From Stanley to Isaac. Stanley writes, this is the 15th of April. Hi, Isaac. Good news. Survey teams have pretty much cleared the old housing project site of viable resources. They're on their way now. I think it's even more than we predicted, though the dust storms did make much of the outer metalwork unsalvageable. Isaac says, good. Stanley says, yeah, definitely. If I may, you've seemed distracted the past few months. Is everything okay? Isaac says, yes, fine. Is there anything I can help with? And then no, Isaac did not write back to that. The next day, Isaac writes back, don't worry, just busy like the rest of us. When it's decided with production, let me know what the next survey point is, please. And Stanley writes back, of course. Lord Impa is saying that there's a really good game called Observation. Yeah, there's two similar games that have very similar names. Well, okay, I don't want to say similar games. There's two sci-fi-ish games, and one is called Observer, and one is called Observation. And I know that Mia played one of them, and I think she played Observer. And Lord Impa is talking about, is it called Observation, did you say? Observation. Yeah, and the thing is, I feel like those two games came out relatively close together. I love that Monster Energy Drink is like a huge patent troll, where if you even like use the word monster in the title of your video game, like Ubisoft Gods and Monsters, apparently the reason that they had to change that was because Monster Energy Drink pretended that consumers are so stupid that they would mistake a video game called Gods and Monsters as being a Monster Energy Drink that they would try to ingest. So Monster made them change the name of it, and that's how we wind up with Phoenix Immortals Rising. Marsman issue 7. Okay, so they did move past issue 5, and the illustrations are back again. Sorry, the same illustrator, Amira Torkar. After suffering heavy casualties during the battle, the astronaut retreats to the Martian plains alone. As he tries to survive the Martian desolation, he contemplates the consequences of his actions. Emerging enlightened from the deserts, the astronaut begs for forgiveness. The Martians, in a stroke of generous compassion, grant the astronaut clemency. A second chance to do his part, a real effort to try. Will the astronaut be able to better himself and stay pure?
I'll make a note of this.
Okay, I feel like now we can go downstairs and chat with Dad. Oh, Ronan has me nailed. I'm being reported to Monster for saying that word during the stream. Yes, it is possible that the commentary that you're getting during Deliver Us the Mars is also a Monster Energy drink, and that you should try to ingest this commentary.
So, what's this something special you promised me?
Oh, I think I might have oversold it. Here it is. I know you're too old for a toy bear. I made it myself. With wood grown right here. Over there, in fact. I guess I just needed it to remind me of you. It is extremely delicate, so please be careful. Not like the dozens you destroyed before. What's wrong? Don't you like it?
I found all these holograms about what happened here. And what you did.
Oh, all right. You must think I'm some kind of monster.
I don't.
I would understand. I think about it every day. I lost hope of ever seeing you again. And I tried to stay out of it. I made so many mistakes in my life. But, that day that I had to stop them both. Before they destroyed it all.
Why didn't you choose for Rosa and Homewood? Why didn't you try to come home to us?
It's complicated. You're here. You're here now. I'm never going to let you out of my sight. I'm going to keep you safe. You are here, safe. I promise.
Dad, We came here to save you, right?
Save me.
To bring you back to Earth.
You want to bring me back? But I didn't send the message for you to save me. I sent the message for you to be here with me. What are you doing here? You want to take me back to... But they'll... What was the plan? What was the plan?
I don't know. But Dad, we need to bring the Arks back home. To save us.
No. Ark habitats. It oxygenates the dome. Ark Vitas, we need to thrive. I mean, if you take these away, the whole structure, the whole system will collapse.
But you said it's difficult to get by.
The colony is stable. We made it. We made it work for all of us. I made it work for you. Please, you must listen to me, Moonbear. Humanity destroyed the Earth. They'll destroy the Arks too. They'll go to the highest bidder or the strongest nation. They don't... Look what we've achieved here.
Moonbase. Outward. Was there ever a plan to save Earth?
Isaac? Amira here. Please come in.
Yes, Amir.
The Habitats rover is back, but... Could you please meet me at the Savannah Terrace? It's urgent.
I'll be right there. Wait here for me, please. We'll talk through it all, I promise. Please.
Okay.
is she? No time. We need to hide. They're coming back. Where can we go? Quick. We need to be quick.
Whoa. What is happening? No. Hold on. I have no idea why we're suddenly getting... Hello to Grumpy. Jab says no shit on the mistakes. Agreed. I have no idea why it's suddenly wigging out this badly. Okay, it figured itself out.
We don't have much time. We need to get out of sight.
In the closet. Quick.
Let me talk to Kathy about this. Kathy?
Kevin was certain, Isaac. It's Sarah Baker. She must have taken our rover back over here.
Kathy?
How did they even get here, Isaac? How did they find us?
She's gone.
What?
Kathy is gone.
Where did she go?
I don't know, but find her. Please. Now! Unison, my daughter and the intruder are missing. Lock off the entrance and check every inch of the dome. Find them.
You okay?
I'm fine. Let's go.
Sarah, I know what I did. I knew it was...
It's all right. I heard everything. I have one too, remember? We have to get back to Habitas. This place is swarming with...
Guys, I've got a bit of a situation over here.
Yeah?
Yeah, those colonists really don't like you stealing their rover. They're trying to get in.
Okay.
I broke the elevator stream point and threw up some barricades. Big brain move.
Be careful.
You need to get back here, or they're gonna stop us from leaving altogether.
Yep, we need to steal another rover, sneak past a ton of colonists.
We need to press on to Arc Vita.
Ryan, redirect Habitas's power to Vita and prep for launch. We are gonna head that way right now.
We're doing this? Okay, copy that. Heading to the NPT terminal now. Be careful out there. Both of you.
I saw a path on the way out. Yeah,
you okay?
Yep. I'll live. Let's go. Follow me.
Earlier in the playthrough, somebody had asked, what is the minimum number of people to represent a viable reproductive population? And I would, however many they came here with...
Hide!
The bioprinter unmanned this long. Someone needs to go back to the Ark and...
We'll have bigger problems if we don't find him. Now let's go.
Hey, who do those ASCs belong to? No one, it's fine.
It's clear.
I suspect more than the number of people that are here.
Okay, just give me 1 second. Think that facility leads to the Ark?
Looks like it, yeah.
How's our chances of just walking in without any hassle?
Assess the chances. Oh, so we do have to look at things.
Not good.
I was afraid of that.
Maybe there's another way in. There's a maintenance shaft that might get us there with a bit of a detour.
I'm not sure I can handle more detours.
Maybe I can do something to create a diversion. But how? And where? That's their pump regulator that controls the incoming oxygen from Ark Habitas.
You're right. Why?
Look. No one is wearing a pressurized suit. If I temporarily turn it off, everyone will be forced to suit up or get to safety. We could use that distraction to get you in there. I can use the maintenance tunnel to get to the facility unnoticed.
Kathy, I don't know about this.
I'll meet you at the entrance.
Okay. Good luck.
Okay, and we try to keep this to like an absolute minimum, but unfortunately I'm going to have to step away for a quick second. I have to take a bio break. Usually we try to avoid having that happen too often. But what we'll do here is just lay down a quick marker. So hopefully through the magic of editing, we will be rejoining you in just a few seconds. And for those of you watching live, you just give me a minute or two and I will be right back. Okay, and we're back. And Sam Melander had said also, Isaac saying that the colony is stable means that you can't allow the population to grow, which you would need in order to have a viable colony. Yeah, this is not a very forward-thinking plan that Isaac has come up with. I know that he and MacArthur before him feel like this is some sort of stroke of genius that will allow humanity to survive beyond the death of Earth, but no, it just seems to be stripping Earth of its last possible opportunity to survive in order for them to live some surprisingly comfortable lives off-world. Also, Ronan had asked for a synopsis of the story so far. We could probably make that happen, but it might take a few minutes.
That's the pump, Ayla. Let's find the terminal and shut it down.
And also, Jab was saying that for a viable population, it's a lot more people than a lot would expect. And like, yeah, it kind of feels that way, that you need to have a good genetically diverse population in order to not have a lot of problems. Well, I guess I'll just start here.
That didn't shut it down. It just moved those heat shields. Maybe we need to follow the pipes up, Ayla.
Wait, I don't know what that means. Oh. I'm gonna climb up. Okay, so I can climb up there, and then let's take a look. Then it would go around here, and so I need to bring... Hold on. Okay. So, there's my ramp. I climb over here. I jump on there. I climb up onto here. Oh, and then I can go up there, I think. Okay. Feel like I have something approaching a plan. What do these do then? I guess we'll line these up for now. Yeah. Oh, okay. Jab looked it up. You need 50 in order to prevent inbreeding.
Guys, Collins and Newly here. Give me some good news.
We're not at the Ark yet. We're going as fast as we can.
Please, hurry up before we're forced to join their insane little cult.
I'm trying, but...
I gotta go. Hurry.
And 500 to prevent genetic drift.
That doesn't work either. Pipes. I don't think I have any other option.
Also, I do want to point out that as part of this plan that Kathy has, she is assuming that everybody has suits on hand, can make it to shelter.
Breach detected. Level 4 rupture. Please put on your pressurized suit and get to the nearest safety zone immediately.
Kathy, what the hell just happened?
I had no other choice.
Dispersing. I have a clear shot of the facility now.
I'll meet you inside.
Oh. I was trying to figure out what to do. Almost got beamed.
Level 4 rupture. Please put on your pressurized suit and get to the nearest safety zone immediately.
Go.
Atmospheric breach rupture. Please put on your pressurized suit and get to the nearest safety zone immediately. Atmospheric breach detected. Level 4 rupture. Please put on your pressurized suit and get to the nearest safety zone immediately. Atmospheric breach detected. Level 4 rupture. Please put on your pressurized suit and get to the nearest safety zone immediately.
I'm not gonna make it. Sarah, go up now. Go.
Catherine, it's no use coming here. The Ark can't... No, Moonbear, listen to me. You can't do this. Not just to me, but to all these people. Don't leave.
We have to, Dad. I'm gonna find another way up there now.
Moonbear, please.
I don't know what another way up would look like. Oh, but it doesn't look like it's this way. Nope. Can't go that way. So it advises me to go up. And I would like to do that. I can't make it through this door. Ah. Hey, Dad, this might vent all the atmosphere in that room, so just in case, I want you to know that wooden bear sucked.
You can't leave. Kathy!
What are you doing? That vent takes you straight to the Tesla chambers. You're going to get yourself killed.
No? Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna say this wrong again. Is it Sungnif? Is that close? How does this compare to the first game? Well, I'd like to go over that. I feel like we are pretty deep into it, so I will caution you, Sungnif, that, this is probably nearing the end of the story based on how things are going. And as we're going through credits, I'd like to have the sort of the complete view when answering that.
Please, I don't want to lose you.
Okay, maybe I'll hang out here for just a moment. I assume close proximity to that, close proximity to this Death Star beam is fine.
I couldn't stop thinking about how I messed up, how I couldn't save you, how I failed you as a father. I should have been able to protect you. I should have done a lot of things better, but losing you was the biggest...
Oh, am I going down now? Why do I not feel like down is correct? Sungnif doesn't want any too many spoilers. Yeah, I would definitely not recommend joining at this time if you don't want spoilers. So... I mean, like, literally no idea. Am I trying to get on top of this beam, then? Okay. Like, maybe when it pops out, I jump up. Yeah, that's gotta be what it is. Okay. This is gonna be weird, everybody. Okay, now I guess because this is too far to jump, so I guess I'm gonna jump across here to this. All right, ready, steady, go. Oh, that's not quite the angle I was hoping for, but we made it. Okay. Yeah, I never enjoy telling somebody that...
I promise you that I'll be there, Zach. I'll make sure you're safe, and nothing can ever hurt us again. And, are you hearing any of this? Kathy, please answer me.
Oh, I don't like this. Okay, this seems like not a great idea. Hold on. Jump! Oh, okay. It's got some God of War stuff happening now. All right.
Quick! Get inside! Alex, lock this door. They're trying to sabotage the Ark's thrusters. Okay, just a quadruple DES symmetric encryption that uses a 64-bit cipher key. You've got this.
Please, hear me out. If only for a second. You don't have to do this. This place, everything we've built. I can't go back to Earth. They'll lock me up and throw away the key. We'll be apart again.
Cap, Sarah, the colonists are inside the bridge.
The Arks need to stay here for the colony, but I need you to stay here for me. You're the only thing that's missing. Please, man. Stay. Please.
I'm through. Got the launch sequence started. Start your engines.
I'll try.
Kathy, let's go! Kat!
I'm sorry, Dad. I'm sorry.
Automated launch sequence initiated.
Quick!
Board Arc Vita immediately. Departure imminent.
Sarah! I'm coming to get you. We're gonna make it. Hold on!
Oh, I don't like standing here.
Hurry! Ayla!
Automated launch protocol initiated. Start manual cross-checks.
Kat? You got this.
No problem.
Sarah, sit rep.
I initiated the launch sequence from the control room.
Copy. Proceeding with final checks. Initiating airtight seal.
Okay, so I'll... Oh, I get it. There we go.
Sealed. Checking air composition.
Okay, 22. And 78. And, oh, check.
We're good. Initiating adductor retract.
Abductor retract. I see the switch. Ah.
Sarah, Ventus lines.
Go.
Starting automatic ground launch sequencer. Retracting orbit.
Already retracted.
Okay. Starting auxiliary power units.
Okay, I think I remember how to do these. You push that up there. Oops. Ugh.
Done.
Retraction. Oops.
Come on.
Meaning cap retracted. Visors check. Go.
Go.
It's now advised.
Transferring ground to internal power. Transfer complete. We're on internal power. Sarah, initiate sound suppression.
Initiated.
Starting helium-free thrusters. Good to go. Thrusters up. Lift off. Lift off.
It's good to hear your voice. What happened to the Unison colonists?
It's all worked out and, taken care of.
Good. I love you, Imzadi.
I love you too.
He made it. I'm so sorry, Sarah, for everything.
It's alright, Kat. You knew it was right in the end. It's what matters.
Why did you come after me?
I If you're looking for Isaac, I granted his request. He's down the corridor.
Thanks.
Did you tell him about Claire already?
No.
Ooh.
I'm gonna tell him right now.
Good luck.
I'm not being funny. That was very much on my mind that Kathy had not told Isaac about the fact that Claire had not made it. That this whole thing that was initiated by his message back to Earth, to her, by the way, not to Claire, only to her, that he wanted Kathy to come be with him on the Mars. Celebration, written by Conrad and Amira. As the astronaut further adopts the Martian way of life, he comes to understand and embrace their ceremonies and rituals. The hardships that follow for the astronaut are not those of conflict anymore, but those of taking responsibility, of staying together, and of working hard each day to maintain the colony's equilibrium. These day-to-day obstacles shall never cease, and it's a life of hardship, but it's a life the astronaut chooses willingly. Author's note: as you might have deduced from the synopsis, Amira and I have decided to wrap up the story of Marsman as we prepare for a very special occasion, an occasion that is a unison first even. We'd like to thank you all for your support and hard work during these first difficult years. We love you all, and from here on out starts a journey that doesn't have a central conflict or great dramatic story arc. Here starts the work, plain and simple. With love, Conrad and Amira and ... So I didn't know that the colony was called Unison. So when we came in and talked to Sarah and she said the colonists on Unison are going to be okay, that's what that meant. Like, the fact that we took away their life printer and also their primary power source, they're all good? Is that what I understand? Because Isaac didn't seem to think that that was going to be a viable outcome. And
jot that down.
Kind of feels like he'd be in the position to know how the colony works, but I guess that's what we're to take, so I'll roll with that for now. Pangea, this thing might be the biggest miracle machine my dad's ever engineered. I don't think anyone back on Earth will even believe this machine actually exists until they see it with their own eyes.
Sit with me.
Oh, wow, I am weirdly oriented for this conversation. Okay, it looks like a spirograph to me. Oh, do I sit over here? Did he just say sit with me? I thought that's what he said. Oh, there we go.
Front row seats to a miracle. It took years for us to find the right biopolymer. Eventually someone found it. Now we can create nature. We're going to have to print a lot more than this if you want to save the Earth. Strange. Let's just remember the day we were born. You probably don't know this, but I almost lost you and your mother that day.
Really?
Yeah. When Liz was giving birth, witnessing worst storms we'd ever seen. Rolling blackouts were a common occurrence. But this time the flood took out the hospital's generators. It wasn't exactly optimal, to say the least. You were born with an umbilical cord. Your umbilical cord wrapped around your neck. And your mum lost consciousness due to shock.
Jesus.
Yeah. I was just standing there in the corner, watching all the nurses and doctors running around trying to save you both. I felt so useless. So utterly bound. When we get back to Earth, they'll take me away. We won't be together, you know that, Kathy.
I know.
I really did try to do what's best for humanity's survival. No matter what we do, no matter how hard we try, we just can't seem to unite. We fight each other if we have a common enemy or a common goal. We disagree on how to overcome it. We become hateful in our rhetoric and destructive in our actions. We'll steal another man's bread if we're hungry, and we'll destroy their home if we want it for ourselves. We keep doing this to each other, to ourselves, as if somehow personal gain always triumphs unity. What are we trying to save if we ourselves just end up destroying it? I really believed what I was doing was right. But then, who says you're right? Who gets to decide that?
It's good to hear your voice. What happened to the Unison colonists?
That, it's all worked out and, taken care of.
Good. I love you, Amzadi.
I love you too.
And even if there is a way of knowing that you're fighting for the true greater good, I mean, why do you have to fight for it in the first place? God, how do you stay strong through all of it? How do you stay good? Believe this is what we should do. I hope you're right.
Hope springs eternal in the human breast.
What?
We can be better.
Mission Control, this is Sarah Baker, Commander of Mission Opera. The mission was a success. We're returning to Earth. ETA is 6 months, 13 days, and 4 hours. Mission Control, please respond. This is our 3rd attempt to reach you. Are you there?
Okay. This is one of those cases where it's like, where to start? So first I'm going to start with something that despite my best efforts, did come up from time to time. And that was with sort of the technical level that this game is at. Now, one thing that I did not know when I played Deliver Us the Moon is that it was originally released. It had like an original release date on Steam where it had I guess it was a Kickstarter thing, and it was actually published. Like they completed the game and they published it as a finished product called Deliver Us the Moon: Fortuna. And then the developers pulled it. I don't remember how. This feels loud with the music. I'm gonna dial the music down just a touch here. Just a touch, so hopefully we can still hear. Let me go back here. The developers weren't happy with the technical state of the game, and that's not the version that I played, obviously, because the version that I played had some fairly cutting-edge ray tracing effects and shadows, and the lighting was superb. I mean, Deliver Us the Moon is an incredibly well put together game from a technical and an artistic standpoint, and I really like that. And coming into Deliver Us Mars, there's no question in my mind that they wanted to up the ante. In the previous game, to the best of my memory, you never see a human face. You see holograms and you see visors, and I'm trying to remember if you ever see another like animated human being outside of outside of one of the holograms. So plainly in this, right from the start, they wanted to have full characters, full facial capture, full lip sync, and everything else. And I have to say that meets with limited results. As somebody else said, and I'm trying to remember if it was Lord Impa a short time ago, the character models in this game are real rough. They animate pretty well, but I would say with almost the sole exception of Isaac and to a lesser extent Ryan. I feel like Isaac and Ryan generally look pretty okay, but a lot of the other characters have at least something going on. Face-wise, I think that Kathy looks pretty good most of the time, but Claire and Sarah Baker, to be perfectly blunt, look like they're not quite finished. It doesn't look like their character models were quite finished, that these were placeholders that were just sort of like left in the game. Particularly odd were their eyebrows, which were like oddly patchy for some reason. Both of their hair looked kind of weird a lot of the time, and the hair, like, we gotta talk about Kathy's hair. My understanding is, as of the second patch for this game, wow, it's still kind of loud. Please let me know if the music is very loud on stream as well. As of the second patch, they adjusted I'm going to turn it down regardless of what people say. That is kind of on the loud side. Yeah, music is loud, says Sam Lander. Let's bring that down by a good amount. So that is significantly down. My understanding is, as of the second patch, one of the specific things that they tried to adjust was that if you have the grooms on, that's the more fancy hairstyles, that they made it sort of like freak out a little bit less during the camera cuts. And my question is, what was it like before? Because there is not a single camera cut in the whole game where if your eyes aren't on Kathy, you can see her hair sort of very hurriedly return to her head. I don't know a lot about game development. I don't know about engine. I don't know what it's like to have that physics-based hair, but surely there must be a way to tweak that so that the hair gets drawn in a couple frames before the camera cut happens. I don't know, but it seems like other games have found a way to resolve that, and I would have liked that. Is it still very loud? Sam Lander, can you confirm or deny? Because I keep notching it down in my headphones. It's very loud. And then there's all of these. It is still very loud, says Sam Lander. We will we will take it down by even more. Let me do one thing here. Yeah, boy, you're not kidding. Okay, we're going to take that down to like there. Okay, that should still be audible, but not a big thing. Zerter, let me know if now it is. Now it's down. Okay, that is much lower than where we put it. So if anybody missed that, the topic was just the hair on Kathy. The non-groom hair, the non-fancy hair didn't look or animate very well, so I wasn't a big fan. It's like when her hair is there and present and not being oddly colored by the ray tracing, it looks really good. It's just almost any time that anything happens, then it starts to sort of like act weird and look like it's sort of floating onto her head. Those are the technical aspects of the game, and I don't want to talk about that very much when I'm playing, because frankly, you guys can see what's happening, and like, if the technical issues don't knock you out of the story, then me talking a lot about it certainly would. So normally I just let that stuff play out, and here I am, and I'm going to mostly focus on the story. Hello to Drienne! Drienne, go away! No offense, but we're about to start talking about the main story, and to the extent that you elect to play this, everything that you're going to hear from this point forward would be a major spoiler, like end game stuff. Drienne has been lurking because of spoilers. We'll go back to that. Drienne, I'm very glad that you're here. I really appreciate you being here. I just want to, I'm about to share a lot of thoughts that I have about the game, and would be very disappointed if in the balance that wound up like spoiling it for anybody else. So hopefully we will reconnect with you, Drienne, shortly in another game. On the technical aspects, can I say that the voice acting was really good? Like, the voice acting was very, very good. I do not know, and I'd have to check. I don't believe that they got back the same actor for Sarah Baker. I could be mistaken. Regardless, really, really enjoyed the performances for Sarah, Claire, Ryan, Isaac. I'm trying to think. Oh, like, MacArthur. Again, I don't know that that's the same guy that played MacArthur in the previous game. Whoever they got was great. Like, the voice acting was really good. And for everything that you're about to hear, I very much want to draw the line between, I think that the voice actors did an awesome job of occasionally bringing to life characters that were, characters that I didn't like very much, mostly due to the choices that they made. That's very different from saying that they're poorly written or that I didn't appreciate their role in the story. However, there are some characters that I disagreed with very strongly, and it sometimes feels like many of the characters. Also, so like, let's try to talk it through in sort of like a high-level way. 2054. The moon stops transmitting energy to Earth. 2059, all of the events of Deliver Us the Moon happen. We covered this at the beginning of the episode. So all of those events occur, including the rescue of Sarah, and now we know Isaac, who were both still alive at the moon base facility. Then in 2060, which I think is, let's just call it a year later. It could be 6 months. It doesn't matter. Isaac takes advantage of another opportunity to steal another arc, to steal the third arc that he was not able to successfully fuel up back in 2054, tries to get his daughter on there, is separated from his daughter, who he knows has a mobility problem, and still like runs ahead to get to the ship. I guess he just thought that he had more time, he could go back for her, I'm not sure. And then goes ahead and takes the Ark and goes to Mars. And for the next 8 years, it remains a mystery to everybody on Earth. Where did these Arks go? Like, I guess maybe they left the solar system, who knows? And it's only in 2068, so 8 years after that, that the events of this game happen. Isaac ceases, to me, it's very difficult to consider Isaac in any way, a sympathetic character when I'm Kathy, and I'm running after him, and I fall, and I'm lying, unable to get up on the grating, and he's totally oblivious to it, up to the point where he launches the arc and leaves. And he's just like, oh, well, I guess I just got to get out of here. And hello to Jody K, who says, I'm here, time to end. And we're not quite ending, because Isaac Johansson was a very complicated character in the very first game, and at the end of Deliver Us the Moon, you can go back and watch it. I don't want to recap it all the way here, but I remember being really interested in the fact that in Deliver Us the Moon, Isaac had 2 daughters, because if Claire Johansson isn't in that story, then Isaac is an incredibly sympathetic character who's looking to save his own daughter's life, even if it comes at the expense of the survivability of the rest of humanity. And although I personally wouldn't agree with that, it's an understandable motivation. But by writing Claire into that story, by making it clear that Isaac has an older daughter, one that he left Kathy with. He trusted his eldest daughter enough to give her custody rights over Kathy, then goes to court and fights to get all of those custody rights back so that he can bring Kathy up to the moon, now knowing, because at first it wasn't clear, but he wants that because he knows they're going to leave the moon. He's in on that plan, or at least I believe that he is at that point. So he goes get Kathy and bring her up to the moon so that they can go off and live on Mars and abandon the rest of humanity, which, by the way, includes his other daughter, Claire. So Isaac ends the first game as being a complicated and not especially sympathetic character. I have never been able to work out why he cares for Claire so little. What is the source of their bad blood? Why it is that he would move heaven and earth to be with and save Kathy, but Claire's just like, oh, well, she made her choice. Whatever. That's fine. That's always been unexplained. I don't want to say that it doesn't make any sense. I'm saying that based on the information that I have, I can't really put that together. Then you have the events of this game, which is, MacArthur's whole plan about let's take all the people that were at the moon base and providing energy for, I think they said at one point, 20% of all of Earth's energy needs were being provided by the moon, and that was expected to ramp up. They were expecting to continue to expand production on the moon to a point where the Earth might become increasingly energy dependent on the moon, with the theory that then that would free up additional resources to do other things. With that energy, they could purify water, they could grow more food, they could maybe start to recapture or reclaim some of the pollution in the air. There were other options that could potentially have been put into motion by having access to the energy on the moon, except then MacArthur says, no, what if we just leave? What if we just say, well, Earth is dead, it's beyond saving, so now I'm gonna leave. And at the end of this game, we get Isaac sort of explaining that point of view. And I did see that Jab had said, the last thing that I need right now is a morality lesson from Isaac Johansson of all people. And you're not wrong. I think that Isaac is there to sort of like try to give us as the viewer, he's there to give his daughter, but then also us, some idea of what on Earth was going through his head. And what is going through his head is that he's extremely disillusioned by the power structures on Earth, that this technology that they bring back, that yes, does have the capacity to reclaim the biosphere, won't be used for that, and instead will be used to benefit the highest bidder or the most powerful nation. It would just be a cause for more war, because whoever gets whatever they get, who gets to go first, what are the criteria? He is saying, like, if he's making this argument that I have absolutely no patience for, which is, well, we can't instantly save everyone right away, so it's really not worth doing. We're better off doing nothing. Or in his situation more specifically, we're better off doing what's best for me and my family. And, well, I guess my family is going a little bit farther. He's better off doing his own thing. I'm going to do what's best for me personally. Hopefully I also get to help my younger daughter, Kathy, but if not, well, I guess I'll feel sad about that. And then there's aspects that he does that just... I feel like that little speech that he gives there, explaining his point of view, is also there to explain why he didn't repressurize Ark Habitas when everybody was suffocating. He didn't drain the air out of there. He didn't kill them. But he also chose not to save them when it proved convenient to let all of the dissenters, all of the loud voices, all of the people most prone to fight, either homeward or outward, all of the people that were the most likely to be militant about their positions were all on Ark Habitas. I literally just said it. Whatever it is. They were all over there, and he just didn't need to press the button to save them. He just needed to take no action. And if there's one thing that Isaac Johansson proves throughout this story, it's that he excels at not taking action, at stepping back and letting things happen, and then stepping in after they've happened. It's not 100% true. He does kill MacArthur, and that feels good, because fuck that guy. But MacArthur is so much more plain of a villain to me that he's not very interesting to talk about. The story really isn't about MacArthur. I feel like I had MacArthur pegged 100% from almost the first time that I became introduced to his plan in Deliver Us the Moon. I finished Deliver Us the Moon knowing that there was a sequel and saying, I hope that we get a little bit more about MacArthur and that, you know, we get some sort of explanation that makes him a little bit less of a cartoon villain. He's not a cartoon villain. That's going a little bit too far. He is someone who wants to reshape all of human society to venerate him and his vision. He's not a bloodthirsty monster. He doesn't execute people. He doesn't like build himself a throne. He does live in a penthouse though. Like that, if he had been up at the top of that habitat, Ark, whatever, just living in a solo room with a cot, I would have said, well, that doesn't feel real good. The fact that he's basically living in the Martian equivalent of an estate. Yeah, I noticed that. I don't like MacArthur, and that's about as much as I have to say about him. He is exactly who we thought that he was. No surprises there. He wasn't like some mad power king, but also he was perfectly happy to force feed people antidepressants and to just make them more compliant. The story here starts in Deliver Us Mars with him saying, no, I think that 10-hour workdays aren't enough. We should really up that. And by the way, no, I won't allow you to have any sort of a psych ward to handle any of their stress disorders, their stress casualties, anything like that. No, we don't have to worry about that. Everyone should work all of the time because after all, it's the only way that we'll succeed, and we don't want to coddle them, do we? Just no patience for MacArthur. Isaac is a lot more interesting to talk about because it's true that MacArthur thinks that he's the good guy. So does Isaac. Well, I don't know that Isaac does. I feel like Isaac really does regret a lot of the decisions that he makes. He does recognize when he does things that are morally wrong, but he's always able to justify them by saying, right, but it's really convenient, isn't it? It's really convenient for me. And I think more than ever that the character of Claire exists in the story to allow for no possible alternative reading of Isaac Johansson than the fact that he's not a good man. He thinks that he is, but I think that from an objective viewpoint, he cares about one daughter way more than the other, and even then, not as much as he cares about himself. I also want to talk about the ending there because it was my understanding, based on comments that Isaac made, that the removal of either of the arcs would spell doom for the colony. The colony was heavily reliant on the 3D life printer that was in Project Vita, Arc Vita, and on the energy that was being beamed over by Arc Habitas. Now I'm suddenly worried that I'm saying that last one wrong, but you all know what I mean. Then both of the arcs took off, and there was a single line of dialogue from Ryan where he was like, he was asked by Sarah, how do things work out with the Unison colonists? And he says, oh, it's all good. I misunderstood that. Like, oh, he radioed down and they're going to be perfectly fine. No. That's not what happens. Everybody there dies. And we know that because he wasn't referencing them at all. We find out in that last moment cutaway that when he was saying everything's been sorted out, what he means is that he killed the security team that had left the colony to go over to Arc Habitas. He killed them, and that they were floating there behind him, and he did what he had to do to get that arc back. And I don't want to black and white this too much, but good for him, because the colony is dead anyway. It can't survive without Arc Vetus. So to leave that other ship behind when the people of Earth need its resources and its technology, that's unacceptable. And if that sounds heartless, like a reverse MacArthur, where I'm saying, well, MacArthur says Earth is doomed, so I'm going to go take what I want to have a better life over here. And now I'm here saying the exact opposite. Well, so what's the difference? Don't the people on Mars also have a right to live? Sure they do. I think that under perfect circumstances, Isaac should have gone to them and said, hey, what we did was super wrong. Earth, here's the thing. Here's the difference. Earth gave everything to the people of the moon, including the people who lived on the moon. All of those resources, all of that technology was sourced from Earth towards a specific project to set up that microwave power transmitter. And when the people who lived on the moon stole those resources because they thought that it would be more beneficial to take them for themselves and go someplace else and set up a better life, they were leaving everyone else on Earth, everyone who had sacrificed on their behalf to get that project started, they were leaving them all to die. This is only the people of Earth reclaiming the things that were stolen from them. And yeah, I'm not super enthusiastic about all the people on that colony dying, but it's them or everybody on Earth. Now, there's a couple other things that happen there at the end. Like, it shows that the 3D printer that was printing out the plant stops working and like the console turns red. I don't know if that means that the plant that it was building turned out to be non-viable, or I think more likely that it had run out of the material that it needed to print more stuff. Except then it feels like when it cuts back and Kathy and Isaac are both sitting there, it's continuing to work. So maybe that happened a little bit later after that scene. That was one of those moments where I wasn't 100% clear, except to take the meaning that I feel like the life printer on Project Vetus isn't 100% and isn't just going to be an altogether miracle cure for everything happening on Earth. No, it would be unrealistic. I mean, it's not a particularly realistic device right at this moment anyway, but it would be, I think, childish to just say, oh, here's our miracle cure, here's the MacGuffin that's just going to solve all of the problems. That's not going to happen. Not in the story and not in real life. There's not going to be some big miracle cure that just repairs 100 years of humanity punching Earth directly in the face over and over and over again. There's not going to be some big miracle technology that's just going to make it all better. We can slow the damage, we can try to start reversing the damage, but as with anything, it's a lot easier to break than it is to fix, and I appreciate that the writers of the story don't just hand the characters a magic wand that's going to make it all better. So I didn't quite understand the full implications of that, but I take the meaning to just be that this isn't going to go well. And I'm sorry, I adored seeing Isaac in chains at the end of the story, because it really did feel to me that when Ryan, for example, was like, wow, both sides do it. Homeward and Outward are both the same. They're both wrong. I became a little bit concerned that maybe that was going to reflect the viewpoint of the writers, that, well, you know, extremism in all of its forms is wrong, whether you're being extreme to steal resources and leave billions of people to die, or being extreme to not do that and to try to help everybody, do the greater good. All extremism is bad. All lives matter. And I became concerned that that might be where the writers were going. And then at the end, you get to see that no, Isaac is super chained to that chair. He doesn't give an impassioned speech to Sarah Baker, the woman that he stabbed. And she's like, you know what, Isaac, yes, I do have to forgive you now. That felt really good. And also, can we say, but for, like, I'm trying to think of exactly how I want to phrase this. But for a specific twist of fate, I do feel like Sarah Baker is, like, arguably, like, the hero of the story again, because holy shit, the fact that she comes out to help get Isaac into the ship. And there's going to be a lot of this as additional elements strike me. So let me just finish up with that. Again, Isaac Johansson, unprovoked, gave Sarah Baker what should have been a mortal wound by stabbing her with, I don't remember if it was a knife or a piece of sheet metal, but jabbed her all the way through her stomach. And that's the kind of wound that can take hours of agonizing pain to die from. And yes, he did think better of it after the fact and did get her to a med pod, and she was in cryogenic stasis for years after that. And that trauma goes on to inform a lot of what happens in, like, this story. The fact that she, Jab was saying, I don't understand why she doesn't want the technology. I think that she does want the technology. I don't feel like she thinks that it's viable to get. And as I said, that particular decision making is being made by the fact that she is emotionally compromised right now. And I don't say that with any judgment. She has every right to be, based on what she's been through. So let's just take what we can, get back to Earth, and then sort the rest out later. The fact that there, with the ship right in front of her, she does the thing that Isaac himself couldn't do. Isaac couldn't be arsed to go back for his daughter. And Sarah Baker leaves that airlock and goes back to lift the man that stabbed her and back up onto the gangplank, and then gets him safely strapped into the ship rather than booting his ass off into the darkness. Like, Sarah Baker is a better person than and I kept, like, thinking to myself, she's a very harsh person in this story. She's very harsh towards Kathy Johansson. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, that is really justified based on her backstory. But to players that haven't recently played the first game, she's going to come off, I feel like, as being not very likable, really being a hard ass, being very judgmental, being mean even. And, oh, this isn't the Sarah that I thought that she was from the first game, and now I don't like her very much. I don't think that from the writers, they have any there's any ambiguity from them at all as to the fact that Sarah Baker is doing the right thing at the right time and that she is the hero of the story. And I think that that is so underscored by the fact that she goes out and saves Isaac when she plainly did not need to. She didn't have to wait for Kathy, who I again say she doesn't even appear to particularly like, but when it comes down to it, she's always going to choose the right thing, and she did it there at the end as well. So yeah, huge fan of Sarah Baker as a character. I am almost glad that she's not the protagonist of the story, because I feel like I said this at the end of Deliver Us the Moon, and this is no longer true. At the end of Deliver Us the Moon, I said it's arguable that both MacArthur and Sarah are one-note characters, but it bothers me so much less with Sarah, perhaps because I just like the one note that she's playing. Here, she's not a one-note character. She's not some bastion of light and good and forgiveness. She has an extremely strong moral compass, but also doesn't suffer fools lightly and understands, like, she has a correct assessment of Kathy, that Kathy will put the mission in jeopardy for the things that she personally wants, for her own benefit. Kathy is something of a selfish character, and Sarah realizes that. She correctly assesses that, and that puts her at odds with the protagonist of the story. Even though she is absolutely correct, it makes her less likable in the scope of this particular story. So she comes off as much less one note, where if you just examine her motivations, her actions from an objective standpoint, it's like, yeah, she was right about everything again. But the way that it plays out makes her less likable, which I think also makes her a more likable character, a more interesting character. And I will stress that although I don't feel like she came off as likable with sort of like the way that she was towards Kathy, I still like her tremendously because she ultimately fought for the good of everyone on planet Earth. Ryan was also sort of like a very likable, affable guy. Like, he was just really congenial, and it seems sort of like laid back and funny, and like the two of them call each other Imzadi, which I just sort of feel like comes from him because he feels much more like the romantic of the pair between him and Sarah Baker. But then again, is like, he's the one who's voicing the like, oh, both sides do it. What do you mean? Like, they're both in the wrong. No, they're not. Like, when we talk about the conflict on Mars, the people, the actual workers, the actual human beings that were trying to fight to make the colony function were being brutalized by the people that were higher up, specifically MacArthur. So when they rose up and said, hey, we made a mistake, we don't want to do this anymore, we want to go back to Earth, they were, in my view, absolutely right. If you are ever unclear on what the right side is in some sort of a management versus labor conflict, it's probably going to be labor. And by the way, it's definitely labor when they're working under sweatshop conditions and being force-fed antidepressants. That's an inhuman way to live. You could see in Ark Habitas the quarters, quote unquote, where they were sleeping, which were basically just coffin pods, sleeping apparently two to a pod, because like one of the diaries that we found, one of the text chats was about like sleeping head to toe so that the other person could get a little bit of privacy. Like, you imagine right now living that way, not for weeks, not for months, for years. And then imagine that the guy who's calling the shots to telling you all to suck it up for the good of the colony so that we can build something greater is living in his palatial state at the top of the world. Like, to me, it's not both sides do it. It's not both sides have a point. It's, there was a way to try to make a Martian colony happen, and expecting everybody to work 16 or 18-hour shifts in order to make it happen while you just sort of like manage the whole thing from your ivory tower, that wasn't the way to do it. It was never going to work, and it's not surprising that it failed, and I absolutely would have sided with the Homeworld colonists who were maybe retroactively now trying to do the right thing and going back to Earth. So that's my take on the story, and I appreciated the fact that it was Ryan, the more likable of sort of like the NPCs, that was the one to voice the opinion that was so incredibly wrong, because it makes it feel like the writers are accurately portraying that, well, the best way to be in life is to just be neutral and to just strike the middle ground. And no, there's not a middle ground there. There's not a middle ground in that. You know, the colonists who wanted to go home were absolutely right. And Rosa was absolutely right. Rosa was the one who found it abhorrent that they turned medical into a prison wing. She was the one who said we need to have the psych wing so that we can monitor and address the psychological problems of the colonists before they become full-on crises. She was the one who said it's not right to do all of these like forced druggings. Second only to Sarah Baker, Rosa, and I don't remember her last name right now, but she was the source, the voice of reason. She was the one who could have made the colony work. And as we recall, she was actually brought on board the Arks at, if not gunpoint, then she was abducted and basically forced to come along as a member of the Lunar Council. So those are my thoughts. Oh, and then this is going to be a short section, but Kathy yourself. So now that you know where I fall on everything, I still really like Kathy as a character, because although I have the luxury of not having Isaac as a father, I have the luxury of not having memories of him teaching me to scuba dive, getting me another moon bear, reading me to sleep at night. I don't remember the time that he saved me. Like, I got in trouble underwater and got locked into the cockpit that sort of rolled over, and then my father came and saved me. These are things that happened for Kathy. So for me, I look at Isaac and I say, oh, thank God that guy was in chains. Look at all the things that he did. Look at all the people that died by his hand. Because bad news, Isaac, if you don't act to save someone when they are in mortal peril and they die, that is on your conscience. And I think that he felt that it was on his conscience, but it was a price he was willing to pay. The lives of other people were a price that Isaac Johansson was willing to pay. Right down to the end, mind you, because I don't know. Let me tell you this. If from a writing standpoint, we were supposed to take there at the end that Isaac realized that he could no longer live without his daughter, live without Kathy, and that he would now risk his life to make that daring jump to get to the other side of the gangplank. He made a mistake 8 years ago, and now this was his chance to set it right, and he was this time going to choose to put himself in danger to reunite with his daughter. Doesn't work. No, don't buy it. Absolutely not. What I saw during that time, and what I submit to you, is unambiguously true. Isaac knew that that arc was going to take off. He knew that when it did, the colony was doomed, and he made that jump to save himself, because that's what Isaac Johansson does at every turn of the story. He does what's necessary to preserve his own life. And if that means ditching his daughters, well, that's a price he's willing to pay. And if that means Rosa and all of the other colonists that were getting militarized die, well, that's a price that he's willing to pay. Here, he got himself into danger. And what does he say to his daughter? Not, it's okay, let me go, don't let the ship leave without you, you have to get out of here. No. He's saying, save me, pull me up. You gotta help me. At least that's what I heard. I didn't have the subtitles on, but the only thing that I saw from Isaac Johansson was an unremitting selfishness. And that carried all the way through to the end. When I saw him strapped in safely to his chair, I'm thinking to myself, everybody that he's lived with for 8 years, no, sorry, because he's lived with some of these people since, 2060. He's known these people for 8 years, almost a decade. They're all gonna die as he leaves, and he just looks like, yep, super strapped in, this is great, yeah. Boy, I wonder what Earth is like. I wonder if I'll have to pay any back taxes. He just couldn't be less interested. There's no emotion on his face for all of the people that he's about to leave behind. And I don't think that that's a failure of the engine. I think that's a failure of his character. Not of the writing. I think as a human being, Isaac Johansson is just... I think that he's a brilliant scientist, and I think that he's absolutely incapable of regarding other people as being worthwhile. I think that he just doesn't get it. I don't think that he's a sociopath. I don't think that he's a psychopath. I think that he just doesn't care. He's just not interested. He doesn't want to exploit people, because look at how successfully the colony was being run from a socio-political standpoint. Everybody seemed fine. No violent uprisings. We didn't get word of any prison or anything like that. It seemed like everybody was more or less doing okay. But where he doesn't want to brutalize people, he doesn't want to exploit people, he doesn't want to take advantage of them and hurt them, he also isn't particularly troubled if they are hurt. They are means to an end to him, and he's a very sort of dispassionate person. I don't know what else to say. So, yeah, Isaac Johansson, it will be interesting to see if we get a third game. It does feel like they put in a hook there for possibly Deliver Us the Earth, but that would be a guess. If we get more Isaac Johansson, I cannot imagine what his redemption arc would be. Whoops, sorry, I knocked the microphone. And I kind of hope that we don't get one. I hope that eventually Isaac Johansson is brought low by his own selfishness, that eventually he attempts to betray those around him for his own benefit in a way that at the last minute doesn't work out to his benefit. And only then does he realize that by not putting greater trust in the selflessness and the altruism of other people, that ultimately will be his downfall. The value of other people. That's the way that Isaac Johansson's story needs to end, in my opinion. But that's a talk for a future game. That brings us back to Kathy, which is, as unsympathetic as I find the character of Isaac Johansson, I do understand. Cast your mind back to what I said a few moments ago. Kathy was raised by this man. He was her dad. And the fact that she wants to reunite with him, that she has all of these memories about when he got on the spaceship and flew away, but the context was so hurried, so rushed. Even with Claire sort of explaining it to her after the fact, there's going to be a lot of emotion wrapped up there. And the thing that makes Kathy herself such a likable and sympathetic character is that I never doubted the authenticity of Kathy wanting to reunite with her father. I did doubt that was going to happen. Let's circle back to that in a second. But I never doubted the fact that she wanted to reunite with her father because she loves him. She loves him more than he loves her, because she was willing to travel the stars for the slimmest of possible chances that she might even learn what happened to him, much less reunite with him. And then when she does it, and she has her dad back, and he's there and saying all of the things that she's probably longed to hear for half of her life now, that he loves her and they never have to be apart again, and that he can build them a new life. He can keep her safe forever, and she'll never have to go back to that choking suffocation hazard of Earth. She still makes the right decision. That without being coaxed, coerced, or convinced, she goes ahead and she does the right thing. And she goes with Sarah and she says, we have to get Ark Vetus. That in the balance, she did go there to get the Ark for the benefit of Earth. And she doesn't even hesitate. Like, you do see that moment when she's left behind in the house and she looks around and you can see her. This is where the game engine and the artists do nail it. Because you know what's going through her mind. She's envisioning, I could stay here. It is an option. It is a choice that can be made. And my father will finish the house. It'll be just like where I grew up. And I can be with him again. And we can live a happy life of hard work, but survivability, and see if we can really build a new future for the people of this colony, something that could potentially live past Earth. And then Sarah comes in and says, let's go. And Kathy says, yep, let's hit it. And it's that simple. It's settled that quickly. I need someplace to hide. Yep, let's go hide under the stairs. Let's go. Because although she allows herself a moment to indulge in the fantasy, she still does the right thing. And that felt really good. I like talking through stories with characters that are this complicated because I really value the writing of this story. Jab had said, I think during episode 2, that he did not consider this game to be as good as the first. And I do think that there's probably a case to be made there. But here in the final moments, seeing how it all wound up, I think that from a technical standpoint, an artistic standpoint, it is not as good as the first. It's not as tight, it's not as polished, it's not as well executed for sure. I thought that the puzzles were much better done, but seeing where it all led up to in the story, it had a very, very, very strong finale, is what I'm saying. So I don't know that I would say that it's not as good as the first. This is going to be one of those things that I'll probably be thinking about and talking about here off stream for a couple days to try to work it out. because in the end, I really like how character-driven the story turns out to be. And it's that you see these characters that are justly fighting at cross odds because they earnestly believe that they're in the right. And although I have a very strong opinion on where I come down, I don't condemn the characters or feel that they are poorly written or executed for what they're doing. And it's that strength of writing that really gets me engaged in the story, so that when the hair is flipping out, when the character models are really bland and blank and the texturing is just very strange. There was this one moment at the very beginning of the first episode when Isaac gave Claire like her brand new moon bear, and the child character model just has like the gooniest expression on her face. And again, I just sort of like check that away in my notes and like my mental notes, and like, let's not dwell on it, because once you get past the sort of uncanny valley of the characters, the writing and the voice work carries it so well, and I really enjoyed those aspects of it. On that note, I want to acknowledge there will be times in a story where I'll say, well, I kind of feel like this is where it was going to go and this was what was going to happen. And that's why I am so pleased when I get to acknowledge I never once ever considered the possibility that Isaac Johansson, well, no, sorry, that's not true. I did think it was possible that Isaac Johansson might still be alive. I absolutely, positively did not think that there was going to be a viable colony where he had set up with a bunch of survivors from the whole original, the original outpost, and they had like a semi-working ecosphere and oxygen and plants. I never thought. I thought we were going to walk into that biodome or whatever. It was just going to be dust. Just like opening up that starship in sunshine, it was just going to be dust and mist and like methane. I didn't think there was going to be anything in there. And then you'd find like Isaac maybe like wearing tissue boxes on his shoes with a big long beard and long fingernails and just like mad as a hatter or something. I never thought that there was going to be a viable colony. So that was a twist that really worked for me personally. Music was good. I rarely ever comment on music just because I'm not a musician and I don't really have the language for it. Hello to Debauchery! Wow! Debauchery, I hope that you're having a great Sunday. We just wrapped up Deliver Us to Mars, and I was just wrapping up my final thoughts. The music was very fitting for the game, in that it very rarely drew attention to itself, except during big plot points where it served to underscore the emotion of the moment rather than seize attention away from it. So I really liked the musical score in this, but forgive me if I don't have the real, like, the language to talk about it. Debauchery says that they've had a nice, lazy Sunday. That's awesome. Debauchery, I want you to know that I look forward to it any time you get to stop by, whether it's for a lurk, whether it's just a quick hello. I really enjoy it when you or anybody stop by, but seriously, I'm so glad to see you here, and I hope that your April is going well. You are coming in really at the tail end. Pardon me, sorry. I work very hard not to cough into the mic or like anything else. I really don't want to make noises into the mic, so I apologize. I missed the whole dang thing, but I appreciate listening to your wrap up. Hey, isn't that K? First of all, A, thank you so much for being here. B, let me just take, this is not as spoilers for people who didn't see it. I want to again acknowledge the amazing hype train that happened at the end of our Midnight Suns stream. Again, usually the closing credits, I take this opportunity to talk through the game because it's so fresh in mind. I want to be able to like cover it with you guys. There was an amazing hype train that happened at the end of Midnight Suns, and although I did acknowledge it briefly as it was happening and then again at the end, I like you guys to know that those events, those really remain with me. Like I think about them for weeks afterwards. And Samalander, Mia, Hayes, and that K, there were many others. Just again, thank you all for that. Because I like people to know that like though that kindness, it sticks with you for a long time after. So it sticks with me. So just thank you for that, and thank you for being here today. Sam Lander saying Angel wrap-ups are the best. Sam Lander wishes that he could be this coherent about a game. I am glad that people enjoy it, because these are all the things that I'm thinking as I'm playing, and then I don't want to overburden. I don't want to interrupt the stream very much, and I want to keep the story going. So I'm very glad that people have the patience for me to just sort of like get it all out at the end and to share my breakdowns of it. But I think that that's it. As always, there will be so many things that I forget to say after the fact. I know that there was something else I was going to say about it. But yeah, I would say... Oh, right. Sorry, the puzzles. I did want to say something very quickly about the puzzles. I really like the puzzles in this game. I like the puzzles in the previous game. The previous games were very recognizable to me as sort of like pressure plate holding and where am I going to find the power cell and put the power cell in to open this door. They were well designed. They were clear. There was one near the end of Deliver Us the Moon that really stumped me for a while, and I was so grateful to Harmonious Crow and others for being patient as I sort of like worked it out. This one had fewer puzzles that really stumped me. On occasion, the mechanics were a little bit less clear to me. In terms of like what you can do, what you can move, like specifically where the things could be put. But I found them very well designed and much more inventive. Like I like the creativity of the light beam puzzles relative to the put the power cell in puzzles. And I took note of the fact that there were 0 put the power cell in puzzles. That was a big staple in the first game, and for this one they pretty much clearly said, we don't want to do that. We want to have an all-new game mechanic, and I really like the game mechanic that they chose. I would argue that the puzzles in this felt smarter in a way, because you had to take into account line of sight. And that last one there, which sort of took place on different floors, that one was a little bit of a mind bender, and I had to like walk around a little bit. But I thought that it was very well executed. I liked the puzzles in this game a little bit more than the first one, although I really liked the first one. Can I also say one more thing about the animation? So the holograms are deliberately animated in a very stylized way, and in this game I really like the fact that you would see like as it was like the camera, the cinematic camera is moving around these cutscene of the holograms with their like 3 frames of animation happening, but then as it's moving around, Kathy is physically present in the scene as well, and you can see her fully animated character expression and stuff. That was really well done. Like that was really I don't want to say like not evocative, that's not the right word. It was very effective in terms of like, I like the fact that the cinematic camera appeared to have been set up with limited regard for where Kathy would be. Like it was showing us this scene, but then there was this extra figure that was there, someone from out of time who wasn't a part of the scene, and you could see at points her reaction to things. That was super well done. And yes, Deliver Us the Moon had that, but minus the facial expressions. So I thought that was really cool. I would love to see, based on my understanding that the original game, Deliver Us the Moon, got a really thorough, like, technical reworking, I would be fascinated to see what this game is like in a year. And I hope that the developers continue to patch it up, continue to improve the character models, improve some oddities with the lighting and the hair, you know, the hair weirdness and stuff, and also that they get to do a third game. I want this to be a trilogy. I want there to be Deliver Us the Earth, and that we get a closure to this trilogy of stories. I know it might be a few years. I don't know how well this game sold. I'd never heard of the first game before the sequel was coming out, and I hope now that we get a third, because I'd really look forward to it. Hey, isn't that casing? I was looking through your VOD collections and I didn't see it. Maybe I just missed it. Have you ever played Outer Wilds? Outer Wilds. No. So I've played the Outer Worlds. I did one audition stream once of Outer Wilds, and at the time, I think I dialed the visual settings up a little bit more than my system at that time could handle, and as a result, the game wound up making me incredibly motion sick. I don't usually get motion sickness while playing games, but there's actually one level in Power Wash Simulator that can do it, believe it or not. It's like a carousel mission where if I'm on the carousel and trying to wash the carousel while it's spinning, that does not do good things to my inner ear. And then, yeah, something about the Outer Wilds with the frame rate that I was playing at made me feel really bad. So I've never revisited it. I would like to play the Outer Wilds. My request would be, I think that we'd have to maybe schedule a time when Mia and Salamander and Patikin, maybe Drienne, would all be able to, like, at least one of them be present, because my understanding is that the Outer Wilds is one of those games that people share more information than would be appropriate. So I would, yeah, Hayes in that case says you would absolutely need mods. That's my understanding. I really appreciate the recommendation, by the way. I understand No Man's Sky gets me no motion sickness. Interesting. And watching VR is impossible for me. Yeah, No Man's Sky hasn't done it for me. I've heard, and again, it's a rare enough phenomenon to me that I don't know this from fact, but I've heard that if you turn, I think it's reduce the field of view on a game, that can help a lot with motion sickness, but it's not something that I've ever had to try myself. It tends to remove a little bit of a fisheye effect, and I think might be more comfortable, but that's a guess. But yeah, Outer Wilds is a game that I would like to play. I understand that it's very puzzle-based. I think it might expose that I'm not very bright sometimes when it comes to puzzles, but it certainly would be interesting to check out. I think that's it. I think that's everything I have to say about Deliver Us Mars. Please bring on Deliver Us the Earth. If for some reason someone who worked on this game someday stumbles across this VOD and sees it, please understand that although I view some specific room for improvement with certain technical aspects of the game, I really admire the product that it is and very, very much hope to see a third game. And for that reason, I've advised Drienne and others who might play this game themselves not to watch it and instead to experience it for themselves, because it is well worth the journey. And that is everything that I have to say. We're going to go find somebody fun to raid. Thank you guys very, very much for joining me for this complete playthrough of Deliver Us Mars, and we will end here at the end of episode 3. Let's go find somebody fun to raid, and until next time, you guys, thank you so much, and I hope you have a great night.